I'm just gonna have to fucking minimize the fucking.
I think you're live, Brett.
It's just setting up meeting. All right, we're live. What's up, fellas? Welcome back to Evil Talk Live, everybody. Even though there's nobody in here yet.
Yeah, they'll be here eventually. Hopefully.
Uh,
Excuse me. Yeah, if not, the three of us get to chat like usual.
Yeah.
That's Brett made that post about the YouTube views, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure my episodes have not contributed to that whatsoever.
Oh, come on.
They're like, oh, that Greg dude's on again. Fuck that. I ain't going there.
Well, our live shit never drew anything until the three of us came together. So I give you lots of credit.
yeah, we get about 60 views on each one of them.
We used to get like 6. Nobody liked me. I think because we were just too over the place.
Yeah, we never
We'd start
stuck
talking
one.
about just, yeah, we was in the backyard and doing this. It probably wasn't a very exciting show then.
Just a couple of dudes shooting the shit.
Yeah.
I ain't been in the backyard in a long time.
When I say I'm going to the backyard, it means something totally different.
So my nephew is making bracelets now. Here's one right here.
Them are pretty cool.
They're very cool, and I think he's decided he's going to sell them at the Texas Hunters Convention. He's going to call them Jason's mom's beads.
Jason's mom's beads.
Yeah. So
That's so random.
right. So I think he'll have some good luck with that. So we might actually have something cool at the table besides stickers finally and pictures.
Need to have Jason's mom's head sitting there too.
I don't think we have Jason's mom's head anywhere, Brett.
No, I meant on that picture he made or
No.
you made.
He's making several of them.
He needs to find is he making it out of beads that he buys or something?
Well, some of them he actually imported in. They're like, actual.
Someone's got to make a bead that looks like the mask.
You would think so. This is actually tiger blood.
Those are pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, he's got the whole, the yellow or the actually orange and black and white. So it kind of fits my Halloween thing.
Yeah, I may need him to make me
thing,
a red, gray, and white one, or red, gray, and black. That'd be pretty dope.
True.
Speaking of Jason, I'm rocking the Crystal Lake Cup tonight too. So.
I see that.
Oh.
I do have the Sammy cup for ice, but yeah. I have a cup of ice.
I got my usual.
Water.
I'm not drinking alcohol tonight.
Well, if you have some issues going on, that's not that you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to mix vodka and antibiotics.
No, that's
you don't want to do that, Brett.
It's a bad recipe.
I was thinking about it though.
But yeah, I mean it's hard not to.
Maybe it'd flush your system out.
You probably can't see my bar back there, but it's dwindling. I haven't been to the shop in a while. Like you can see back right here. Like it's getting
that.
It's getting pretty dwindled down, man. I gotta go to the shop.
This is what I've found. It's called Hard Truth Cinnamon Vodka. Because I was wanting something cinnamon, but wasn't that stupid Fireball or any of the cinnamon whiskeys, because I just don't like whiskey. And this stuff is actually really good. So
I've had some cinnamon vodkas. I've never had that brand.
Yeah, this is all I could find anywhere in the city, at least.
Now
I'm sure there's more, but this one was available.
I've made my own cinnamon vodka. All I did was I took I only made a small batch because you want to drink it pretty quickly because you're putting a ton of sugar into it. Hey Tammy, you're putting a ton of sugar. I put fireballs.
What's up, Tammy?
You know the candy fireball?
Atomic fireballs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I thought that, or maybe Red Hots or something. The fireballs would be better, I'm sure.
Oh, so I crushed them up and I put them in vodka, and man, I tell you what, it was the best infused cinnamon vodka I'd ever had.
I might have to try that.
Would you just let it sit for a couple of days, or?
Yeah, I crushed them. They're really hard to crush. Spheres are hard to crush.
Oh, that would be true. Yeah.
So it was really hard to crush. But once I got them crushed up, I put them into a bottle and then I put the vodka in it. I shook it up real good. And I let it sit for about 3 days, and I kept tasting it. And like even the first day, like it was really good. And then by the third day, it was ready to use, and I smashed the whole bottle.
Cool.
It was really good. It was really good.
I may have to try that. I
I may
think,
I may have to do it again now that I'm talking about it.
yeah, right.
I always keep Sammy holds my atomic fireballs back here behind me by the couch.
Oh,
So
cool.
they're always down here in the basement with me.
You ever watched Moonshiners?
I
With
used to all the time, yeah.
Never watched it.
I
Oh,
live it now, so I
I want to
don't.
build a that you can buy stills on fucking Amazon, dude, for like $80.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
Did
thinking
not
about
know
buying
that.
one.
Yeah, the stills around here are not bought from Amazon, I tell you that much.
Oh,
No.
I know. Yeah,
No, they're the real deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're in the fucking heart of Appalachia there.
Yeah. My neighbor came down one day and he had a jar and it was still warm from the still. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, I was like, this is the real. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's
just came off.
the real deal. Yeah.
We're not gonna tell you where that's at, by the way.
No, we'll keep this a secret.
Yeah, I love that show though.
Yeah, it was a good show there for a while. I watched it, and then it started getting crazy with like the different offshoots and stuff like that, and I quit
That's what
watching
they
it.
do with all the shows eventually, it seems like.
It gets a little too much for me. I'm not a reality TV guy, so
Me either, really. Uh, there's a few that I like.
I used to watch Survivor. That was my favorite. It was like the original reality show, but it started to get pretty dumb too, finally.
well, they're on like season 49 of like that
Yeah,
shit
and
now.
they
So
it's just yeah, it hasn't been
uh,
good in a long time.
yeah, it's not my thing. So
I've been
what's
wa-
that?
I've been watching The Strain.
I never liked that show.
That was Del Toro, wasn't it?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I'm about halfway. I think there's three or four seasons.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm about halfway into season two now. And
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Will, is that your nephew?
Yeah, that's William right there.
Let's hear about the movie VFW.
Yeah, VFW was a movie that he gave me. It was basically these old veterans at the VFW got attacked by like some zombies or something like that. It was a funny,
I mean, they were drug addicts.
yeah.
They took some bad fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
William, I was promoting your net. Look at that. I was promoting it on air.
oh, he's the one that does
Yeah, he's the
those.
one that made these. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Greg
missed
had
it.
an idea. You should add Jason's
Tiffany.
mother's head to the picture. That would be cool. I thought, or Brad, I thought was meaning actually put it on the table.
I think that'd be a better idea.
I don't know where we'd get Jason's mother's head.
Just get a random mannequin head. Doesn't have to be Jason's mother's
I
head.
could
Throw a wig on it.
old
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
Leatherface
take
back
that
here.
stupid ass thing.
What? The Leatherface you hate? Yeah. We could put a Jason mask on him.
I hate that one. I hate that mask.
You've always hated this mask.
Just
That-
it look,
that's the fancy girl mask.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Tammy's dad was born in Pine Mountain, Kentucky. His uncle had a still as a kid. He ran moonshine for him out of the back of a wagon, making deliveries at age 11. That's freaking awesome.
that's how NASCAR started, man. Running moonshine.
Yep, moonshine.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. But I think I'm going to infuse some of that cinnamon vodka, like you just said.
Hey, Will, we had
It's
an
pretty
idea
good.
for your bracelets. Need to try to find some like hockey mask beads or like Michael Myers face beads or
I don't think
something
you'd
like
find
that.
those, Brett. I don't know.
You
Oh,
might
you'd
be
be
able to.
Bro, you'd be surprised what you can find on Amazon and shit like
Yeah.
that. And you know, us horror freaks, we'll
Just
buy it.
just type in horror beads. I bet a shit ton of them come up.
Well, it could be.
Just make sure you spell it HORROR, not the other way.
Yeah, because
Horror.
Brett always says it wrong.
I
Yeah.
love my horror.
Yeah, if you type in horror beads, you're getting something totally different.
That Brett Illinois redneck accent always makes him sound like whore. Instead of horror.
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 My 7-year-old says he listens to Ice Nine Kills, and one of their songs is "Welcome to Horrorwood."
Oh
And
yeah.
he always says it funny. He's like, "Well, let's listen to Horrorwood."
Harwood. Harwood.
Harwood. Sorry, I had to plug my laptop in. All right. So what's everybody been up to? Been a
Working.
month.
Working.
Yeah, working. Lame. I'm on summer vacation.
I know you're on vacation. Last time we talked, you were just getting started on it. So
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I mean, it's awesome, like, but at the same time, it's weird. Like, I'm flying out Monday, after this to take on a side job for one of my buddies down in Georgia.
Oh,
So
cool.
I still pick it up a little bit every now and then.
That's cool.
William wants some Vader beans
Va-
beads.
Dude, that I'd buy that too. I'm a,
I'd
I'm
buy
a
that
nerd,
too.
man. Star Wars and horror, man. You got me. Throw,
Same
throw
here.
throw some Lord of the Rings in there, and you really got me.
Yeah, Star Wars and horror. And then I'm all with you.
So
But yeah,
what part of Georgia are you going to?
Savannah.
Savannah. Ooh,
I've never been.
there's some haunted shit there, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be out till probably midnight at the earliest. I'll get off work. So
Yeah.
I got to go cover a fireworks company, a showroom for them.
Oh, that's cool. How long is that going to take you?
I fly out Monday and I don't fly back till Saturday. I got to be there through the
Through
4th.
the fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here in Riverside. It'll sound like a war zone soon.
Yep, every year. Don't need to
I,
go to no fireworks show.
I think
Got
me and
one
Ayla
right.
are going to walk down to the river on the fourth. She's going to be here next weekend.
Where they set them off at down there.
Downtown. You can see them right there, the
Oh,
park I go walk at. So I haven't looked at fireworks in a long time. So maybe I'll actually go do that.
I
I can
see.
see. I
I
can
love
see them from here.
fireworks, man.
Yeah, don't they set them off from Panther Island or some shit now?
Yeah, they do.
That's right. Yeah, I
T
can. I can sort of see them from here, from where I'm
Yeah,
at.
you have a better view than me. I'm sort of stuck behind a bunch of trees and I've never been a big firework guy though, but I think it killed me off one year. We went down to what used to be the Tandy Center, which is what they call Panther Island now. We got stuck in traffic. I ended up almost to South Hewlin before I could turn around and go home. It was awful.
Jesus.
Yeah, we go to a sportsman club here usually, and
That would be fun.
they do a hell of a show. It's like I think they said they spent like 12 or $13,000 on it this year. So I mean, it's a hell of a show for a little sportsman's club that we're members of, but it's hard to get out of there. There's only one entrance in and out,
That
and
tends to be
it's
the
like
problem.
you're there for an hour after the fireworks are over, just getting out.
That's what I'm
They let
thinking.
the public come to it too.
They do let the public come. They can't come before a certain time. Like they're not allowed at the pool.
Oh,
We usually
gotcha.
go there. We usually go there during the day and swim, and then we get our picnic spot, and then hang out until the fireworks and stuff like that. But we have food trucks there and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It's a really cool environment. I'm kind of bummed I'm missing it this year, but got to make that money.
True, true.
Si- Side job hustles are that's extra income. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tammy tells me to get ready for extreme heat and humidity. I don't know, man. It was 100 degrees here in West Virginia a couple days ago.
Yeah, y'all had some really crazy heat out that way.
Yeah, it's even today it was 94.
It was the Rangers were playing in Baltimore and it was hotter in Baltimore than it was here.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
not very normal.
It was crazy heat, like just gross. You step outside and it was like you were just instantly wet. And it wasn't even like a fun heat, like Arizona heat or anything. It was just like
Yeah,
hot and sticky, gross.
It's the way it is here too.
yeah, that's true.
The dew points ain't up yet though. That's one they ain't up to like 72, 73 yet. They're only like in the mid 60s. So
That's because it's been so wet. That's the thing. We really need to get some of that stuff burned before it gets too hot, Brett, or too dry, I should say.
well,
Moist.
More, yeah.
unless in between tonight and tomorrow my back don't get fucked up again, I'm gonna come down and get them chainsaws going. At least
Well,
get
in
some
our
of it cut
in
up.
our luck, you'll be injured by tomorrow morning probably.
Nah, I'll be okay. I'll be good. I'm not drinking either, so I won't be hungover.
Thank God.
Hey Tiff, I didn't realize you're in the chat.
Yeah, they heat there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. The way that jet stream came through is crazy. But anyway,
Yeah, the whole East Coast there is pretty much, except the far Northeast. They're only like in the 60s. That's fucking strange. How just a few hundred miles north it's cool, 40 degrees cooler.
Be
That's
nice.
true.
Oh well, such is life. Can't. Like I tell my son all the time, can't change the weather, man.
No,
all we can do is just live with it.
nope, can't change the weather
But
unless you're harp.
what the fuck does that mean?
What the
Harp,
hell? Heart.
harp, H
Harp?
A A R P.
You're gonna go blow a harp.
No, never mind. Never mind.
I don't get it at all either.
I don't either, man.
You ain't never heard of the agency Harp before?
No. Should I have?
They they can mitigate the weather.
Heroes against reproductive penguins.
I think he's talking his conspiracy theory stuff.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Oh, I thought you were. Who knows?
uh, fusing. I don't have that problem with mascara fusing my eyes together, Tammy. Believe it or not, I don't wear any makeup. This is all natural beauty.
William's asking about the Texas Haunters Convention. Brett, you want to give some dates and some info on it?
Yeah, when is that? I don't even know.
It's coming up. It's like less than a month away now.
Give us the-
25th through the 28th of July.
Well,
So,
the 25th isn't really open to the public, is it, though?
yeah, it is for the parties and stuff. If you got
I
tickets,
didn't
to
even know that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So
So what's your guys' plan to do there? I know you guys set up a table, but like what's you guys actually go look for new haunt stuff or because that's more of a haunt convention, right?
It
yeah,
is, but it's more of a Halloween convention. I think they kind of named it a little maybe wrong, which I think it's kind of hurt some vendors because the vendors go there thinking there's going to be all these big industry things going on, and it's not. It's more there's so many haunted houses, especially backyard haunts in Texas. It's sort of more that.
yeah,
Um,
geared to that.
yeah. But yeah, what we do is, we have our table set up, we give info on the podcast and sell stickers. That's very popular. Um,
I
Brett
just got
sells some,
700 of them in today.
yeah, Brett sells some horror pictures, like not photos, but like
Framed prints is
frame,
what they are.
yeah, frame prints. And then we just sort of kind of really just promote the podcast. And
We
then
got
we'll go
some we
around.
got some shirts this year too we're gonna sell.
We do got some shirts. We're going to be selling these cool bracelets this year. And then we just sort of mingle around, and do a lot of video. And that's where we got some of our best video ever was the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Hmm. That's cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of seminar and classes as well. And there are vendors there, like Composite Effects, the people that made the Blue Demon mask. They're there selling their silicone mask, which are very expensive, but they're very realistic.
Are there any like movie tables and stuff there? Like, like
They haven't got
independent
that.
films?
No,
They-
they don't have a lot of that, unfortunately.
No.
They're more at Texas Frightmare Weekend. That's the problem. We have Texas Frightmare Weekend and the Haunters Convention, and they're not that far apart. And
Yeah.
now they're at the same exact location. And seems
Yeah.
like all the movie stuff is more at Frightmare Weekend, which it is a horror movie convention. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, especially like if you're an independent filmmaker in that area,
I think you would want to be there. Yeah.
like, just any kind of exposure is good exposure at that point. If you can get in front of even another 500 people that wouldn't have known your brand
Right.
or your movie, I mean, that's an opportunity there that you could definitely, take
I
advantage
agree, but I don't remember seeing very many there. But I don't know why. Maybe now that this bigger spot, it'll start to, that it'll pick up a lot more steam. I think the Texas Frightmare Weekend is already outgrown this place, and they've only been there 2 years. So
Well, that's good.
yeah,
Horror is in right now, man.
it is in.
And
Yeah,
if you can take advantage of the fact that horror is in right now, like Will, if you can find a way to, I know you're naming the company, about horror and trying to go that route, but if you can find a way to pigeonhole a horror idea into it, man, you are going. We're just nerds for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, every time I go to a convention, I buy my wife some little trinket that she can put in her hair, or fucking earrings that are made out of plastic. It doesn't matter. I'll
Yeah.
spend $20 on a barrette because it's got Chucky on it, for. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like this is just something you hold your hair up with. Now, granted, I don't know what they normally cost because I don't have hair. But if I did, I would spend $20 on a
You would
barrette for
buy it. Yeah.
myself. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think this is really going to grow by leaps and bounds because they were in a sort of way far out from Dallas location and it
Yeah.
wasn't a very good spot. So I'm really excited this year to
And you
see
had
the
to
good.
growth
fight
in
the
it.
rodeo and all kinds of shit out there. Yeah, it was sort of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was at a rodeo arena. It- but this thing has come a long way. Originally, a gentleman had put it together and he passed away before it happened. And it was a big mess. So they all came in together and got this thing going sort of in his memory and it's really fun and I'm glad I remember think the second year I worked it for Richard from Oxley Manor, worked the table. It was a fun time and it just keeps going in better directions.
Super
Yeah, they
cool.
do have a ballroom dance on the Friday night and a costume party thing. That's not my world really. The only time I dress up as a monster is when I'm in a haunted house. I don't want to walk around and,
I don't know, man. I
that's not my thing.
enjoy dressing up as Jason and just being mute for a while. I talk and do all these shows and stuff, but sometimes I just want to walk around and be quiet. So
Well,
it's kind of nice to
unfortunately,
wear
my
be
Count
Jason.
Karabi character doesn't shut up.
No,
And
Oh,
he
he likes
don't.
to, and he tells a bunch of lousy jokes and makes fun of people. So
What's
maybe if
up,
see,
the Blue
Chevy?
Demon was still alive, I'd walk around as the Blue Demon. But that mask fell apart on Halloween and I've never bought another one.
well, it sounds like you can buy another one.
I don't want the Blue Demon's gone.
Oh, see, Silas dressed up as Michael Myers and I dressed up as Jason this past Halloween, and it was kind of fun walking around together. Little tiny 7-year-old Michael Myers and a
Right. And a
giant
big,
Jason.
yeah.
It was kind of fun. Everybody wanted to take pictures and stuff of us, and it was cute. But still, even though, like, I'm a huge fan of the Richard Brooker Jason. That's why, the Scooby-Doo character is tattooed, as the Richard
Yeah.
Brooker Part 3 Jason. I just think he's the coolest aesthetic wise. And it's kind of fun because a lot of people don't see that version. Everybody goes like part 6, 7, the Kane Hodder, the CJ Grahams and stuff like that. And I don't know. I've always thought the throwback Richard Brooker one was always my favorite. So
Yeah, we just did Halloween or not Halloween, Friday the 13th, the final chapter and I was impressed with that guy's portrayal of Jason and it was
y-
very low key.
yeah, I mean, it was, except for, I mean, he was very physical.
He was yeah,
He was very physical in his role. And that's what I like his role too, or his take on it as well. Very
I
similar
can't remember the
to
guy's name
I can't
unfortunately.
either. I can remember almost all of them, but I can never remember his.
Well, I don't even think he was credited as Jason and so that part of it. He wanted to be sort of low key.
He wanted to not be, he wanted his
Yeah.
name off of it.
Yeah, so that's probably why we can't remember it.
He thought
Uh,
he sucked doing it. He
He
thought
did not. Yeah.
he
I'm
was
with you. The part 3 Jason was good too. Really good.
I just like he ran. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was more intimidating in my opinion as far
I
as like
mean,
a psychopath, not necessarily like zombie Jason. I always consider anything past 6 Deadite Jason.
it was. Yeah, it was yeah.
So
He was a zombie by that point.
so yeah. But
And
anyway,
of course will always be the best, but these other guys really should get a lot of credit. Any guys at the Hunters convention like Kane? No, Kane Hodder was actually at Texas Frightmare Weekend, and he was very accessible too.
he's cool. He just likes to beat up on big dudes though.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
He was actually screwing with who was he? He was screwing with some of the other celebrities, scaring them from behind when they were signing autographs.
yeah. But
I'm 6'2", and when I walk up to him, every time he always tries to put me like in a headlock or grab my throat. It's like, I get it. You're bigger than me, but not much. Like,
yeah, Tammy was a haunter too, for
Yeah,
sure.
18 years. Well, This will be my 40th year in the haunted house business.
And you've said a couple times already this year that it might be your last.
It just might be. It just might be. You know, we got the road construction already started in the neighborhood, so we don't know what next year is going to hold. So
I still don't know how I feel about that. I've only known you as, the Count
the Count
Karabi,
Karabi, yeah.
you know what I mean? Haunted house guy. I just not
Maybe Count Karabi will start going to the conventions if I don't do the haunts.
boy,
Yeah,
I tell you, if we can all get together and go to a convention, we are cosplaying. We'll turn Brett into Bubba. We'll make him be
Yeah,
the
have Bubba there and have Count Karabi. Because like I said, Count Karabi's a loudmouth.
we'll make Brett be pretty face Bubba.
shit.
From
I already got a pretty face.
You sure the hell do, Bubba.
I got a pretty mouth.
God.
I just read Tammy's
I was reading that too.
chat. That's made me laugh. An Amazon woman. Was she dressed like Wonder Woman? Because I'm not gonna say that's one of my fantasies, but it might be.
First Connor says he misses working in the haunts. I miss it too, but I just can't deal with those long nights anymore. I like the backyard haunt and I really don't want to see it go away, but I don't know. Maybe it'll become smaller. It won't be so big. I don't know what the future holds after this year.
Well, we got rid of that tree now. It's only getting bigger now.
You know, that's true. That's true.
After we get that big son of a bitch cut up, man, shit.
Go big or go home, I always say, man. Just make it. We have a elementary school that was turned it was like a I don't know, it was like closed or something, and they turned it into a haunted house that they do every year called Scareview Elementary. And it's really cool and it's put on by like local volunteers and it's like done and like financed by the volunteer fire departments and stuff. Really, really cool. And I'd love to be a part of it. I just never have the time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
We've just had two major haunted houses in the DFW Metroplex go under.
Yeah, I was just
One
gonna
at
say
the
that.
Renaissance Fair just announced today that they're done. So apparently, it sounds like some politics behind the scenes. Uh, Scarborough Fair has kicked Screams out after like I don't know how many years. And we had one called Reindeer Manor, which the Boy Scouts used to run. And unfortunately, well, they'd sold it, prior to that, but the people who owned it lost their property as well. So they had moved to a skate park in the mid cities, and it just wasn't the same, honestly. So now we've lost two big names that have been around forever. So
yeah, we have another one called Fear at the Farm, which is just right around the corner from me. They're both pretty close to me. That does pretty well. They do a hayride and a house. So
we just
oh,
don't have a lot of hay rides in Texas just because of the volatile weather.
Yep, you don't know what it's gonna do.
Don't know what it's gonna do.
And there's really no like
Woods,
big patches of woods either where you
see,
can
not anymore.
we have woods, forest area, plus we have by the river, we have a lot of farm area too. So it's kind of
Well, unfortunately, we're the fourth biggest metropolitan area in the country, so we just don't have any woods left.
I mean, you guys can create like a hostel type thing.
Yeah.
type haunted house.
Well, that's what was good about Screams. They were out at the Renaissance Fairgrounds and they put on a good show. I just never went because I was always working, and
it's a ways down there.
it's a little bit out of town, but it was a good show. So was there was one
Reindeer Manor.
Reindeer Manor, but there was another one I'm trying to think of. It was in its last years. It was called Taman's Graveyard, but it had a name prior to that, and it was sort of out in a woodsy little area too. But they're gone as well. They shut down about 5 or 6 years ago. So there's a void there, Brett. You need to get you a building and open one up.
Yeah. That's always been a dream of mine. Is I have two major dreams. One, I want to own a drive-in, and I've always wanted to own a year-round
A
haunted
year-round
house.
attraction would be great.
So where you can change it from, holidays to Christmas haunts and St. Patrick haunts and Valentine's haunts, and have Harry Warden walking around as your main villain during the Valentine's haunt, and the Leprechaun for for St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that.
Well, they've
But
tried them around here and they've never had a lot of luck. The Dark Hour in Plano, they still do, year-round haunts, but they've reduced them significantly. They used to do Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's, and they only do about maybe 3 or 4, but they've changed their off-season haunts to where it's a chase haunt. So it's a little bit, it's different than your local, all the haunts we have in the area. So the monsters will actually chase you and
yeah,
they'll put a sticker on your back that says, I was hacked to death by whoever, or I was electrocuted. So it's really a fun thing. It's pretty expensive, but they put so much work into it. It's worth every penny.
yeah, it's kind of like an escape room style haunt. That's pretty
Little
cool.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
A little
cool.
bit more extreme haunting too.
Well,
Alan
it's
Hopp to Dark Hour, they do a great job with that stuff. So shout out to Alan.
some of those extreme haunts though go a little
Those
too
go a
far.
little too far, yeah.
Those aren't haunts, those are kidnappings.
There was something up. What was that one, Brett, that was at the haunt convention last year? They were in like Oklahoma, which is just right. It's not far from us.
Oh, I can't remember.
They ran like more of an extreme haunt than you have around here too. But you know,
Yeah, that's never been my thing. I like the fun haunts. I think those are more fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we do with ours now. But when I was at Moxley, we try to do a little bit of everything at Moxley, and Richard continues that tradition to this day. He's got clowns, he's got zombies, he's got the insane asylum. I like that. Give everybody a little bit of everything, and you're going to find everybody's phobia. That's always been my philosophy. A lot of these themed haunts are cool, but you got to everybody's got their own scare. So
Yeah.
that's where Moxley has always excelled, even when we were a smaller haunt. It's just me and Trevor were putting a lot of I've said before, some of the satanic, imagery in there, and that really gave a lot of people the creeps.
Yeah. Well, like we can go up to about 2 hours north of us is Weston and the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh, hell
ooh,
yeah. Yeah.
So they do a haunt there as well as the ghost tours and stuff like that. But Halloween is it's so hard to get in there because I mean there's lines backed up. You wait 2-3 hours to get into the haunt.
that's the
Yeah.
way some of the haunts are here too.
Yeah. Yeah. William mentioned that the Oakwood Cemetery around here does a saints and sinners, like a tour through the cemetery, and they dress up like in period costume because that's a cemetery from the 1800s.
That's pretty
I
cool.
don't think they actually did that last year. I think they may have skipped it, but it's stuff like that is always fun as well. So good
Yeah,
mention there, Will. That's a fun thing to do.
yeah. The haunt I worked at up in Illinois, they had all kinds of shit going on. They had fire eaters out
Yeah.
for queue line, and they had a big fire pit and told ghost
They're still
stories
open,
around
aren't they, Brett?
up there in Illinois. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love when you go to a haunt and they have performers out in the line area because
Yep.
The Q line is what we call them. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, that's a European thing. You call it a
Yeah.
queue,
Yeah.
but it's just it adds a different element to it because they feel safe, but they're not safe, especially if you have some good actors that are good at distraction, and
Well, honestly, that's usually where a lot of the more, you know, I would say drama, more drama people are, that can really put on a
yeah,
show. You get somebody who's in a room for 5 seconds. They're good at what they do, but you got to have somebody in that queue line that can do this all night and just come back for more and more. So
Yeah,
I agree. That is a
Waverly
really
Hills too.
important part of the haunt business is getting people in the line because they're out there for a while. Find a way to entertain them.
yeah. Waverly
So
Hills is probably crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
Tammy
sitting
said it
here
is.
making a drink as we're doing this.
You're good. My drink's already almost gone. I might have to take a
Me
break here
too.
in the
I had to.
middle.
We've already not even hit 30 minutes yet.
Well, we haven't even talked about our topics for the evening yet.
No, I had a weird day because Lisa got sick at the restaurant and we almost had to take her to the hospital. So the day's just been kind of whack since then.
Oh,
Oh no.
geez.
Yeah,
Hopefully
she's
she's
okay
okay.
though.
I was about to
Yeah,
say, hopefully she's all right.
I guess she got food down her windpipe, but it wouldn't come back out because of her COPD, and it was pretty scary.
Oh Jesus.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Where'd you go to eat?
At Rudy's, like we usually do on
Oh,
Saturdays, get the cheap breakfast tacos. They're
gotcha.
good. They're good. Hearst Haunter said he was a queue line actor in parking lot.
That's
That's what.
I think that would be a lot of fun to be that. I mean, like I imagine a lot of drama nerds would be perfect for
Yeah, that's
that.
where you really want people like that, or just the big scary dudes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Kevin from Atlanta there.
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. When you used to work, one of the big haunts.
What haunt was it you worked at, Kevin?
I can't remember all the big haunts. Sometimes there's so many of the good ones.
I forget
See,
to.
I don't know any of their names and stuff because I just don't, I'm not part of that world.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
Beings
mean?
we're in the world. Yeah, I know all of them's name. I just can't remember them
Like
all.
even I watched that documentary on the extreme like haunts and stuff, and I still don't remember any of those. Like I couldn't tell you. I know the one guy got brought up on charges that was in
Yeah,
that
that guy's
thing.
an idiot though,
But
honestly. There's a movie called The Houses That October Built.
yeah,
Netherworld, yes, Netherworld.
Netherworld, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Netherworld's one of the best in the world. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, The Houses That October Built, they were making it as sort of a documentary for the haunts, and it turned they actually have two cuts of it. They have the documentary cut, then they actually filmed it into a movie. And our Moxley Manor actually made an appearance at the end of it. So
well, that's cool.
uh, good thing to find is that Houses That October Built. It's one of the better looks at the haunt business that I've seen. There's not a lot of them out there.
I may have
And
seen it. I just
Richard's
don't
in
remember.
that too. He's in
Richard's
there
in it. Yeah,
for
Richard
like a
is.
minute and a half.
Yeah, but he signs autographs. Will said, Bubba's finally talking. Bubba, you been quiet tonight? I
I
think me and
guess.
Greg sort of like get to going and we don't stop.
I like to ask questions. I can't help it.
Ask away, motherfucker.
That's that's my I'm so used to hosting that it's
Yeah,
hard
right.
to break from that pattern of
And
just
I'm
asking
always,
questions.
in the co-host role, so I'm just more of the inner information guy. So I think when we do these evil talks, Brett might be a little more in the background than he is on the regular show.
What is Joe? When I used to live in JO, what is JO?
A haunted trail. I love haunted trails. We actually had one in the stockyards. It was called Pueblo del Diablo that I worked at with Video Bob for like 2 years. And the Blue Demon ran the trails, and I was dead at the end of the night, but it was fun.
Is a walking trail
It was a
or
walking trail. It was part of where the old stockyards. There was like the meat packing plants. They were like ruins of it, and they actually had a trail in the back. The main haunt was unfortunately just one of the tents they set up, but we did have a walking trail, and I love working that thing.
You guys don't have cornfields down there?
No,
no?
we don't.
Corn
You got to
cornfield
go like
haunts are
about an hour
great.
out of the Metroplex to
Yeah,
find
you got to
anything.
go
Yeah.
East Texas for any
Yeah.
cornfields.
When I was a
Cornfield
kid,
haunts
you
are
could
great,
find
man.
stuff, but not now. We don't have anything.
We had them up in Illinois. That haunt I worked at up in Illinois, we had
Y'all had
actual.
everything.
It had
What
an
is it?
actual
Give that haunt name. I can't remember that either,
Spider
Brett.
Hill in
Spider
Chillicothe,
Hill.
Illinois, and
Still open. So if you're in Illinois, go check those guys out.
it's like 30 minutes north of Peoria. And we had a actual haunted house, and then we had a like a mile long walking trail, and then like a mile long hayrack ride through the woods.
That's
That's what
cool.
you worked, wasn't it?
Yeah, I worked the shit. Sometimes I was the only one out there on that trail working.
They
Sometimes people
we
didn't want
have
to stand out there in the cold.
there's a haunt that's in it's about an hour and a half out of the Metroplex. It's still open, but it's not the same. It was called Verdun Manor, and it was sort of a werewolf theme haunt. And they had a walking trail. It's out in the basic of the country, and the walking trail. I'm gonna tell you what. This is a scared. I've told this story before. I actually got scared. We're walking, and this old man comes up with a shotgun. He's like, "The hell y'all doing on my property?" And I'm like, we're in the haunted house. Well, that haunted house is that way. Y'all done got on my property. Y'all need to get the hell out of here for I'm gonna have to. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he kind of gave me a look because kind of because I think I had some of the kids with me, and they got scared. And yeah, I was like, whoa, this is genius. So yeah, they don't. Todd James, Cutting Edge, the original owner of that thing, I can't think of his damn name now. He passed away, And Todd bought it, and they've kept it going. And I really give them a lot of credit for keeping that thing open because it's really isolated out there, and they just couldn't keep all the little niche stuff that they had because it just cost too much money. But it's still open. They call it Thrillvania now, but it
Oh,
is sort of in the country.
it's Thrillvania still open? They're still open
I
out there?
think they're still open. It's not open as the obviously Cutting Edge is their meat and potatoes, but they do
Yeah.
open Thrillvania up. It's not open. I think it's just open in October on the Fridays and Saturdays.
What town is that in?
That is in Terrell, Texas.
Oh, it's over in Terrell?
Yeah.
Okay.
But used to be my
Gotcha.
favorite haunt when Lance Pope, I believe was his name, was the original owner. And the man's actually buried on the property. He was a very avid haunter, and a lot of his people, after he passed away, opened a haunt called the Haunt House that was really good too, but they shut it down. But yeah, I really like that walking trail stuff so much. I wish we did have that in the area.
It's fun,
Yeah.
man. It's
Tammy
fun
agrees
working
with you.
them. It's just that's why I like the backyard hunt because you're outside, dude.
Yeah. Tammy
Like,
says outside haunts are her favorite as well. She said
Yeah,
unexpected scares and working with the elements is a great combo.
unfortunately, not in Texas. We just have
hmm,
such bad weather. And Will said he remembers Bubba at Moxley saying, "Wash my underwear, wash my britches."
horse
Yeah,
my britches.
yeah, that was Bubba's. He had the skid marks on his underwear, and they actually have kept that scene. I think Richard said they were going to get rid of it this year after all these years.
Really?
No more Bubba
Well, I
room.
want another pair of underwear then. I had one pair that somebody had stuck in my truck and I found like 2 years ago.
Well, is that the one that we we sprayed the shit smell in?
I don't know. It didn't, I don't know if it smelled or not, but
I know you sent one to the Brohio guys
yeah, I
podcast.
sent a pair to the Brohio guys. I got them hanging on their wall.
So yeah, Bubba was famous at Moxley with the underwear.
Who
Oh,
was
geez.
it
Bubba
you
room.
that did was it you that fucking made the photocopies and fucking was passing them out saying I gave fucking autographs and shit?
Well, yeah, you had a picture with Danielle Harris, and I showed somebody at work. I was just talking about Moxley. I said, "Well, here's my buddy Bubba. That's his girlfriend. She's hot." It was Chris Cochran. I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Well, I want his autograph." So I made Brett sign an autograph as Bubba, and to this day, I think Chris still thinks that Danielle Harris is your girlfriend.
Man, you must either be packing a mad load
Packing,
of cash or packing something
packing
else.
something, yeah. So yeah,
Jesus.
we had a lot
Well,
of fun with
well, I'm telling you right now, it ain't either. So
oh no. That Bubba room was something else though.
Speaking of haunts and let's defer a little to movies.
Yeah, let's defer.
Did you see the new Hell House LLC movie has been announced?
I
It's gonna
have
be
saw
coming
that
out.
yeah, I did.
So that should be coming out soon. Have you guys watched the Hell House movies?
I've
I
watched a
watched the
couple of
first
them.
yeah, I watched the first one and the second one, and I don't know if they where they're at after that.
So I've only watched the first one and the prequel. Um, because that's the
I
order I
don't think
was
I saw
told.
the prequel, yeah.
The prequel was I believe the last one that came out, and before this next one that's coming out, which is supposed to be the last one.
Tiffany
Um,
went and stayed there like the weekend there
Oh
at that
wow.
place.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
That I
cool.
can't remember it was that the Abaddon or something like that, Abaddon Hotel,
Yeah, I
I
think
think that's
so.
it,
something like
yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see how they're going to end the series, and I will go back and finish watching. I think it's 2 and 3 that I
Yeah.
still need to watch, but I was told to watch it as I had watched the first one, which was great, and then I watched the prequel because I was told to. They said that it was better than 2 and 3, and it gave backstory and kind of was just as scary as the first one. The first one was really cool in the way that they shot it and the way that they
Agree.
kind of yeah, that Blair Witch style.
It
You know
Yeah.
what I
did.
mean? So
Tiffany said we need to watch them all. I'm gonna put that down on my list.
Yeah, we maybe need to review
Yeah,
one
we do
of
because
them.
like I
Sure.
said, that first one was impressive. There's not a lot of good, spook house. I like to call them instead of haunted houses with the you got your haunts and then you got your haunted attractions. There's not a lot of good movies out, and I've always wanted that's being I've been in this business for 40 years. I really love it when people do a haunted house movie like that.
Yeah.
Now she met the director and they investigated. That's cool.
That's really cool, Tiff.
I'd love to do that.
You know what? I do remember you talking about this. I remember you talking about this now. I
I
do.
remember it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is really cool.
that is
But yeah, I
awesome.
want to go back and watch those darn things now. That's
Yeah,
like,
I think I've watched the first three.
I
a lot
think
of times I go back on a movie like that and I really enjoy it a lot more now than I did then, since I've been watching a lot of movies the last 3 or 4 years doing the show.
there was another one that came out maybe 2, 3 years ago that was about a haunted house, and it was like it also had hell in the title, I think, or maybe it was just called Haunt.
Yeah, there's
There
one
was one called Haunt. Yeah.
There's been a couple of them out that are some of them sort of suck.
There was
Let
one, it was called, it was a tape. There's a haunt called like the Bates Motel and Cornfield somewhere. It might be in Ohio. I'm not sure exactly where.
There's a lot of haunts in Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio's is a big place for them.
Eh,
And they did a movie there and it was just called like the Bates, I forget. It was something. I actually was watching that free on Fandango, just trying to refresh what it was about. It was cool seeing the haunt in it, but the story was pretty silly. But I
yeah.
love seeing people's haunts featured in movies. It's just cool as shit to me. I really want to go back there and tape something in our Count Karabi Museum backyard haunt this year.
Do it.
I want to.
Hey, 28 years later, it was shot on an iPhone 15.
Right?
So, I mean, you could definitely do it.
She said the
We did-
basement was crazy to
you
go
need
down.
you need a gimbal, man.
So get a gimbal. They're like, you can get them for like $400. A really, really good one for $400.
Well,
You can get them for $40.
yeah, but how good does that work?
It'll work.
I mean, they're about as good as my light here that won't fucking work right now because I bought it from
I was looking at
Amazon.
this webcam though. It's pretty cool. It's AI with a gimbal.
No one's signing up for your OnlyFans.
No
Give it up.
bet. No
Why
bet.
not? I can show my hairy toe knuckles.
Oh God.
I just threw up in my mouth.
I did too. I could only imagine.
Oh,
I hate feet so bad.
I do too. It's like, I
Oh
mean,
my
that's me and you
God.
are so alike, Greg. I think that's
Ugh.
we get along. It's one of the grossest things in the world to me.
Feet are disgusting. So much. Gross. Anyway.
I guess it's time we can, now that Brett's ruined the moment, but let's move to one of our topics,
Well,
which
Brett,
I honestly don't even know what our topics are tonight. I just saw them in passing. So
Italian
of course,
zombie films and Tony Todd.
I am not prepared for any of the topics as I usually never am.
Big shocker.
Right.
You're turning into my Dave from my show. I'm about to start saying shut the
You're on
fuck
your
up,
toes.
Carl.
Yeah, right. I did good with the topic when we did the kill scenes.
Well, I'll tell you what, introduce the topic. I'm gonna go make another drink.
Okay.
all right. Well,
What do you want to
Uh,
start with, Bubba?
I'll be
We're
right
going to
back.
be talking about Italian zombie films. There's really not that many.
I was gonna say when you
just-
said that, I was like, I can think of like 3, maybe 4.
well, there's probably 20 of them, but
Well, I
Well.
mean, there's then I was thinking, oh, this movie. Then I'm like, oh, that's not Italian. Then I'm like, oh, that movie. And then I'm like, no, that's Spanish. So
well, probably the
don't-
first person you think of when you think of Italian zombie
Argento,
movie.
of course.
No, Lucio Fulci.
Well, yeah, but Argento too.
Yeah, Argento. He didn't really do too many.
Yeah,
actual-
no, what I'm getting, let's wait till Greg gets back. I don't want to jump ahead. Has anyone seen Sinners? Is it worth watching? I have not seen it yet.
I have not either.
As soon as it drops on Fandango, I will probably just buy it. The last one I bought was The Monkey, and that was fun. Monkey's a fun movie. I got Final Destination, Sinners, and there's another one I was looking at. So yeah, I will be watching Sinners very soon. Very, very soon.
Sinners is
You told us it was,
my
yeah.
_1 movie of the year.
So our topic is Italian zombie movies, and I said I think of
Argento.
Argento. I was going to say because of one thing, and
Okay.
that was the version of
Dawn of the
Dawn of the
Dead.
Dead that he
Okay.
did.
Okay, that's fair.
That's that I do. I just because it made the movie so freaking different.
It's big time different.
Yeah.
Very
So
different.
I really think of Argento with that. And for some reason it just seems like he's done more zombie movies, but he hasn't, I guess.
He really hasn't. I always think of Fulci.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Uh,
gonna
yeah,
Brett said, and I was gonna say
yeah,
fault, but
that's
then
that.
I'm like, but I mean, yeah, he would be definitely the top guy.
And then you can get into it. It depends on if you think. Do you guys consider the movie Demons? Do you consider that as a zombie-esque movie, or do you consider it just Demons? Because then you can talk about La Bava as well.
I don't know that I consider it a zombie movie,
I
but
sort of do. They're sort of like zombie
there's some more
demons.
zombie demon. Yeah, they're not real demons.
Yeah. So I would say yes, they are zombies.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the way it's the way it was contracted was through the scratching, but I mean there's some really cool scenes in that Bava movie if you want to get into that stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna lose chat for a minute because I gotta go to my notes here.
Okay.
Just-
Will mentioned the 28 days later. There's one 28 years later's coming out if it's not already out.
it's already out and I haven't watched it yet because I want to refresh myself
I
on
do too,
28
because
days and
I want to
weeks.
watch the other two because they've been sort of hidden for a while.
Well,
Sony
I've
ended up buying them out, I believe, and now they've got them on all the streaming.
yeah, I know 28 weeks later is on Hulu right now.
Yeah.
28 days though, I'd have to look to see where that's at.
Oh, I'm sure it's on Tubi.
Or YouTube or
There was some kind of a dispute. I think maybe Disney had somehow got there. Somebody had the rights to them.
well,
And
Disney owns Hulu,
yeah,
and
but
I know 28
somehow
weeks later is on Hulu, so
they had disappeared for a while, and somebody, maybe Disney is the one who bought the rights back or got the rights, but now they're back out again. So yeah, I can't wait to see the 28 years later.
well, that's strong.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely got to see it in the theater.
but Falchi and Argent, who else? Okay, so let's get going into Italian zombie movies because I can only think of about 3 or 4 or 5.
Okay,
Everything else I keep thinking is Spanish. There's a movie called Tombs of the Blind Dead, which I watched as a kid. But
that's a good movie.
it's a Spanish movie. It's not
Yeah.
Italian. So y'all
It-
kind of put me for a loop because everything I think of, I'm like, well, that's not Italian. We're really getting genre specific here.
Well, Andrea Bianchi, he's another director. He did Burial Ground in 1981.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna watch that today.
Burial Ground is very gory, in a good way. You know me, I like my gore. So
Yeah.
then you can get into movies like Anthropophagus. Anthropophagus is one. It's not great, in the sense of like overall film. That's a Joe D'Amato film. Um, I don't know. Joe D'Amato's in the film. I should put it that way. And he's probably most known of the cast. He's also the director. It's a German-Italian film. It's looks pretty cool. I mean, some of the stuff is pretty gory. I don't know. I've always liked it. They played it a shit ton on Shudder. So that's the first way I saw it was on Shudder.
Shudder,
I
yeah.
never even heard of it until I saw it on Shudder, and then I started like falling down the spiral. Obviously, we talked about Argento's version of Dawn of the Dead.
Which was zombie. That's
Well,
what it was
yeah,
named, yeah.
and that's the whole idea. Zombie 2 actually came out before Zombie did.
Yes, it did.
And because Fulci had seen the original Dawn of the Dead, and the Italian marketing decided they were going to call it Zombie 2, blah blah blah. But anyway, Zombie is probably my favorite,
I agree. It would be my favorite by far.
but it's hard to. And I'm talking about Zombie 2. Are you talking about the
Yes,
Argento Zombie? Okay.
No, the Facci, yeah.
Because I can't say that Argento's version of Dawn of the Dead is better than Romero's
It's just so different.
because it's very different,
When you have the Goblin soundtrack,
which makes it cool,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make it Dawn of the Dead.
significantly, yeah, exactly. Agree totally on that.
But I'm also a huge fan of Inferno, which is really good.
Yes.
Um, but I like The Beyond as well from Fulci.
I do like that movie. I think that's on our list, Brad, is it not?
Yep.
If you've never watched The Beyond, it's a high recommend. It's not great as far as storytelling goes. It's the probably the best of Fulci's zombie storytelling, put it that way.
Yeah.
But it's still a Fulci movie, which means that storytelling is a
Was it the
backseat to
second
everything
one in the
else.
Hell Gates of Hell
Yeah,
trilogy?
It is the
it
second, yeah.
is. Yeah.
And then House by the Cemetery is the last one.
Which I don't
Yes.
consider a zombie movie, but I guess it sort of is.
Well, it's part of the Gates of Hell trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you can
It's
really
not my
justify
favorite
it.
one. I just don't enjoy that movie a lot.
Brett,
Have
you
you
haven't said much. What do you
have
got?
you seen Zombie? Where is it?
3, 4, or 5.
No,
They're like all kinds of them.
Zombie Holocaust.
Yes, I was
I've
going to
not
mention
seen
Zombie
that damn thing.
Holocaust.
You haven't seen it? Don't waste your time.
Oh, is it that bad?
It's not bad.
It's just
It's
cheesy.
it's what you expect.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen it. So
It's what you'd expect. I mean,
yeah.
that's the best way I can describe it. I will be in trouble if I don't mention Cemetery Man.
Oh yeah, I just
Oh
watched that
yeah.
today. I love that movie, man.
Yeah.
So that's
It's so
that's
it's sort of got a Bruce Campbell uh
Slapstick.
Evil Dead vibe going
Three
on with it.
Stooges always I call Bruce Campbell a Three Stooges guy.
well, they were heavily influenced by Three Stooges
Oh
too.
yeah.
So that's why that slapstick, that's what came up. That's where Splat Stick came out of, was from Evil Dead.
Right.
So was Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi. So yeah, but Cemetery Man's Suave. If you don't know Michele Suave, he's made a lot of films as far
Yeah.
as an Italian director goes. Um, I like a lot of his films, but at the same time, I don't like a lot of his films. So it's kind of a weird, he also was part of Demons. He was part of Fright or Stage Fright, So Michele Suave, he's, pretty cool. What else you guys got?
Will mentioned the movie. It's not Italian, but it's called Sometimes They Come Back, and that is a really spooky ass movie. So good throw out there.
That
Oh,
is, Sometimes They Come Back. That's a Stephen King one,
it
isn't
is
it?
a Stephen King. You're right.
Yeah.
There's so much Stephen King crap. It's hard for me to keep track of who's
I
what.
know. That's an
I
old
don't,
movie from like the 80s too, I
I've
think.
never heard of this movie called The Humanoid, so I don't know about that one.
Mm. I've heard of Humanoids from the Deep, but that's
Yeah.
definitely not a zombie movie. That's a
No.
Corman film.
Yeah.
We
I
did
think
that.
we did that movie.
Yeah.
And you guys
Um,
already mentioned Burial
Brett,
Ground, House by the
What else you got,
Cemetery.
Brett? You got to have something that we haven't mentioned.
There's actually a zombie movie from before Night of the Living Dead called
There
The
is?
Last
Well, I know
Man, The
Hammer
Last
made
Man
one.
on Earth.
Well, The Last Man on Earth is a take on well, it's based off the novel The Last Man on Earth. And in the novel they're vampires, they're not zombies.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
Because then
but
wasn't there one of the Will Smith movies? I think was a semi
yeah,
remake of that.
yeah, I think it's called like I Am Legend or something
I
like
Am
that.
Legend. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
I thought
part of
that was
that
like a
whole.
take on what was that Charlton Heston movie from the
That's the same story.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And
All right.
then the one you're talking about has Vincent Price in it.
Oh, okay.
And the Vincent Price one is a direct take from it, but the Will Smith one is the only one that took the name of the book, which is I Am Legend, I think.
Yes, it is.
Gotcha.
The Hammer did a movie called Plague of the Zombies in 1966, I think it was. And that's an interesting take because they throw a little bit of voodoo involved in the whole zombie genre, which was cool.
Well, that's
Yeah,
when
Mega Man was that. I think there's been 3 takes of that.
That's the Charleston Heston
That's
one.
and it is better than I Am Legend. I agree.
Yeah.
But that Plague of Zombies is a good watch if you're a Hammer guy.
I mean, if we're gonna go down the zombie road, we can go down the zombie
I
road.
know
We can
but
go
we
down
might
the
want to.
we can go down the Italian director road. We can go down
Brett,
it.
where do you want us to go here?
Let's go wherever, man. Pick a spot. I'll take it.
Because
I
our
can
other
go all
topic,
over.
I
I'm
don't
up
think
for
will be a
anything.
long discussion.
I mean, the other topic for me is just Candyman. Like this.
Candyman, me too, and Final Destination. He
That's
was
all
fucking great in the first Final Destination.
every time I see Tony Todd pop up in a role, I get excited.
I do too.
It's just because I love him, and but I've always called him 6'5" of chocolate. It's just the kind of guy I always wanted to hang out with. I saw a great picture of him and Devon Sawa on a plane. This and Devon Sawa posted this at that time. Me and the legend rode in first class and scared everybody.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, we lost him this year. Tony Todd passed away.
Yeah, back in November.
Yeah. He is in the new Final Destination movie in sort of a cameo. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to soon.
Yeah.
I have not seen any new movies.
I
I've
just
been
don't go to
really
the
bad.
theater. I just don't want to go to the theater anymore. It's just it's just too time consuming.
I'm the opposite. I love going to the theater.
I love it
and
too, but I just can't get myself
I
there anymore.
I just haven't had time to go. And like this week, like I really wanted to go. The Megan 2 is coming out.
Right?
28 weeks later, or 28 years
There's a
later.
lot of good stuff out.
Superman's coming out next week, and it's like I won't be able to see any of them.
Now, especially with you going on the trip and
Well, no, I fly out Monday, I come back Saturday, and then we leave the following Friday to go to the Outer Banks for a week.
yeah, okay.
Like I'm literally home for 3 days. I'm home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I have a side job I have to do. Painting some fender. Oh, that came out really hillbilly, didn't
Painting
it?
some fender.
Painting some fenders. So I don't even get to do anything then. I gotta paint some fenders for a buddy.
Yeah, he did the voice of Zoom in the Flash show. Tony Todd,
Tony Todd's voice. I mean, just
great voice.
think about in Candyman when he's going, Helen.
That gravelly sound. He's got
Helen.
that
Like
very gravelly
I
voice.
know it's haunting.
I am not in any way homosexual. However, if he would have said my name like that to me, I would have gone with him and said, "Sure, Mr. Hookhand, cover me with bees,"
Yeah,
because it
Um,
was just
funny.
the greatest thing
I
ever.
just can't mention how great Candyman is. It just
It's in my top. It's in my top 10 movies for 100% for sure.
yeah.
And it may have even, as of the past few years and my rewatches of that, it's probably moved into my top 5. It's everything about it, from the score to the visual directing, the cinematography, Tony's acting, Virginia Madsen's acting. It's beautifully shot, and it
It
tells
is.
this tale of just what the nation was really about in 91, in the early 90s.
True,
And
true.
Yeah, that was really shot at Cabrini
Fuck.
Green in Chicago too.
I mean, fuck, there's just so much good about that film that it's one of those films like Rear Window that I feel should be studied. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
there's so many good things about it. Like, I don't know. I am obsessed with that movie lately. I have a bunch of Candyman figures back there by the bar. Um, I don't know. There's something about that movie that's always struck me. And now, years later, that and The People Under the Stairs have been like the two movies. I don't know if it's because I grew up in the hood. Maybe that has something to do with it, and where I saw that I saw that aspect of it.
Right. Yeah, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of
Um,
sense.
But fuck, man, I absolutely love those movies.
What about the remake? What'd you think of that?
I loved it, and
I loved it too. I did. I liked it a lot.
I thought Nia DaCosta's take on the overall look and lore of Kid, I thought it added to the lore,
It
which to
did.
me,
It added a lot.
if you're going to do a requel of some sort or a remake or a rehashing or somehow tying it in, that's how you do it. You bring in the original lore and you just make it better. The depravity of the racists back in the 1800s and what they did, and they tortured and killed this man, and it was so good.
I agree. It added to the lore of it. I mean, and again, I love when they do these rehash instead of remakes.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of a remake, but it's a rehash and it's still in the same world.
Yeah.
It was great too.
To me, Tony Todd's Candyman was still a part of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
and he was there. They had a
he was
cameo.
there, yeah.
But I
I
mean,
wish he'd
like,
have been a little bit more part of it, but I understand, you know, they're trying to make their own path.
They made it modernized, but it worked for that movie for sure.
I mean, I don't know. It has one of my favorite kills of all time, and that's the zoom out in the high rise.
Yeah.
Where Nia Costa shot it through the window and then zoomed out all the way across to the other skyscraper. I just think it's beautifully shot, and it's reminiscent of Argento's Blood Spray and Tenebrae and stuff like that.
I could see that. Yeah, I definitely agree.
So really cool.
Yeah, it's you know, and I don't mind the sequels really. Candyman 2 is not bad. You know, Tony Todd's good. He's
good in it.
He just rules that role. Yeah.
Well, that's like Farewell to Flesh and stuff like that. They're not great.
They're not great movies.
Okay.
No, they're not nothing compared to the original by far.
The first one just
they're
had
way lower budgeted. You know,
yeah.
I think the third one might have been straight to video.
Yeah,
but
it was.
They have their place. They're definitely not great movies, but you know, that whole character is what's great. And Tony Todd, yeah, I mean, he's been in a lot of
stuff. Yeah,
I was going to say that, Brett. We just had the same thought. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I think as great as the first Final Destination is, I think him being in it pushed it over the top.
His character as the mortician is really cool.
Yeah.
Or was he actually death?
Spooky as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's debate as to whether or not the mortician was actually death making a cameo in the film.
Right, yeah.
So
Will asked if we'd seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or a Popeye, the horror movie. No, I never watched either one of those.
I have.
I
think
the
Brett
Blood
watched
and Honey.
Blood and Honey.
I've seen them all.
It's dumb as shit.
I love bad movies. You guys know this about me.
That is your favorite thing, yeah.
I love watching a terrible movie. I love independent film. I think anybody that puts
one of the Popeye ones though.
The Popeye one, it's bad.
Have you seen Steamboat yet?
I haven't. That's the one I haven't seen yet. Is the Steamboat one?
That's supposed to be good.
Yeah, they're not great.
I don't think anybody would expect them to be though. That's
the second Winnie the Pooh is definitely over the top.
It's got Tigger in it, doesn't it?
Does have Tigger in it.
That would make it right there.
It's yeah, it's something.
Does he do the Tigger song?
No, he doesn't do the Tigger song. The wonderful thing about Tiggers.
Oh shit.
I know that when they did that Banana Splits movie, I think that was I actually found that one fun because I never understood why the hell that show was on TV anyway.
Oh, I love that show, man. I watched that shit back in.
It just never made any sense to me. So I'm thinking, yeah, they probably are a bunch of killers.
It was just goofy and funny.
I know, but the movie made it make more sense. I ain't never heard of this movie called The Color.
You've never seen The Color Out of Space?
I never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, that's
sort of Color Out of Space deep, dude. It's a trippy film, man.
Cage does some fucking weird, fucking crazy movies.
Well, that's because he's contractually obligated. I mean, he has to. He doesn't have a choice. He's still paying the fucking courts. But no, Color Out of Space is actually one of the good ones that he's taken on.
He's done really a few really good movies, yeah.
Are you into Lovecraftian theory or anything?
I am.
At all? Mm-hmm. Color Out of Space is a Lovecraft story.
Okay.
So it's very fucking trippy.
Yeah, it is.
Really cool though. I own it. I think pretty well. I own a lot of shit that I haven't watched yet, but
I've watched it a couple of times.
And I've just spent $20 on Fandango this weekend. They're having a $5 sale.
I just bought The Army of Darkness on Blu-ray. I own it on like VHS and DVD, and I just bought it on Blu-ray again.
Of course, you got to upgrade.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, I'm sitting here trying to figure if I really want to buy Lord of Illusion on 4K. I mean, do I really need it?
Okay, maybe I'm not as bad as you.
No, Jimbo's always making fun of me. They were doing some movie and they're like, I bet Carl has both of these copies. It was Fright Night. And I'm like, yeah, I got them both. I do. I have
Not
two
to be fair,
copies of Fright Night on Blu-ray.
Fright Night is a very great film though. So, but
Indeed it is.
Tammy, I'm with you. I love watching cheesy horror films and I love goofing on them. My wife gets so like she doesn't want to watch the true horror films and she also doesn't want to watch cheesy horror films. She wants like thrillers and stuff like that in
Yeah.
between. And I'm like I'm like gory, super scary, or I'm the cheesiest. Um, have you watched Evil Muscle Bodybuilder from Hell?
Not
No,
me.
Okay.
Bye, Brett.
No.
It's like the Asian version of Evil Dead, but it's about a bodybuilder. And
Okay.
it's so bad it's good. Like
Is it
it's
subtitled?
oh yeah, it's
It's
subtitled. And
got
I
that. There's no way they probably dubbed that thing. Yeah.
no, there's no subtitle, there's no dubbing. It's all subbed, but it's really good. I mean, I don't know, man. I love that kind of shit. Again, I'm on record as saying I liked The Secret of Bloodfart Lake. I thought it was good. I liked the third Saturday in October or November, whatever which one it is. I thought that was good. So I mean, like there's movies that are out there. Sharks of the Corn was not my thing. That's
No,
that's Ashley's thing. The first 5 minutes are great because there's boobies, but after that,
it's not good.
there's usually a rubber shark going like this across the screen.
On a shark puppet?
Yeah, it's a rubber shark.
Well, we just did, even though we took it off of YouTube with Subspecies, that's a pretty low budgeted vampire movie, but I just fucking love that movie.
Hey, don't knock
I
subspecies.
love it.
I love
I
me some
don't like that
subspecies.
stop action animation. I think it didn't fit the movie, but I love that movie with a pack. Have you seen that what I got here? I have a coffin box here.
He bought the coffin.
Did he?
Yep.
With all of them in it?
Yep.
Got it. Took me a minute to grab it. Look
So
at this thing.
does it have what is it, part 5 or 6 in it?
It's got them all. Yeah.
So I was there when they premiered that movie. They premiered it at which one is it? Show me the label for the last one.
Okay. I think it was Bloodstorm Part 4. It was
No.
actually Part 5 because they did that Vampire Journals in between.
Okay, that might be it. It might be.
Yeah. This was the last one that came out.
Okay, if that's the last one. Yeah, so they premiered that at Cincinnati's Scarefest.
Why did we take it off of YouTube? Oh,
We
What?
went the problem with that one, we went way out of topic and we didn't even get to the movie for 15 minutes and we didn't get a lot of views on it and I was kind of pissed that I felt like I hadn't done Subspecies right. So we just pulled it off and I'm going to go back and do it again.
I think we got shadow banned on that episode.
We might have got a
'cause
little shadow ban
we
too.
sort of
What's-
said some fucked up shit, but it's still on the audio if you want to listen to it.
Yeah,
I
it's still
can't
there.
remember the guy's name. Count what the hell's the main guy's name?
Radu.
Count Radu. Radu.
Yep.
That's right.
Radu. But
But
yeah,
yeah.
this whole thing, it's got all the Blu-rays, which you can't find them any other way.
I have Bloodlust on VHS.
Yes, it's hard to get these things on.
I bought
You
it
know
for
what?
$2.
There's actually Part 5 right here, Blood Rise.
That's it.
Yeah, I see. I haven't even broke these
Yep,
open yet.
that's it.
But
Blood
this
Rise.
this is the last one.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's it. I didn't I was knew I'd recognize the cover. That's it.
I believe this one is the one of them's a prequel. I know, but
I
I
didn't-
love these movies. But I
They
know
were
they're
showing
not.
it at like midnight. I didn't get to go
But
watch
look
it.
at this box that Full Moon put out. This is like made out of like really good wood.
Dude, Full Moon's the shit.
They are the shit. And I know these are not probably movies that everybody would want to watch, but I just am such a nerd for any kind of vampire movie like this. They've filmed them in Romania. It's just so realistic.
Well, that's
to
because
me.
Charles Band owns that castle.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
But there's the front of this thing. Isn't that cool?
that is dope.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
And I got a really good deal on it because it was their display model at Texas Frightmare Weekend. And yeah, this thing sells for like $200 and I got it for like 125 or 150 and I jumped on it.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Um,
But
that castle is the same castle that's in Castle Freak.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
It is. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
That
Lake
movie's a trip
Placid.
too, boy.
It is a trip.
Maybe we should put that on the list.
I would love to watch that and do that one. Yeah.
Hey Tammy, isn't Lake Placid the one where what's her name?
Betty White.
Betty White says "suck my dick."
It is. Yeah, Lake Placid is a good movie. I did not like the sequels, but the original is a really good movie.
I mean, think about who's in that cast. I mean, Oliver Platt's in that cast. What's the dude from 28 Days Later's in that cast?
Yeah.
There's so many people. It's a good film.
I've got that on I think a Scream Factory Blu-ray that did a good job on it. Lisa likes that movie. She actually told me to buy it. That's another one we should do, Brett, is Lake Placid. Not the sequels. I don't like the sequels at all. They're just too silly.
We were talking about The Strangers this afternoon. Have you guys seen The Strangers and or the new one, The Strangers Chapter 1?
No,
I've seen the first one.
I think I've seen the first two.
I think that's. I don't think I watched the new one that came out.
The second one was they were in the trailer park.
Yeah, it's called Pray at Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a funny story with that. My wife decided she was going to watch a movie with me, and she said it was okay to watch a horror movie. So I said, well, this one might be up your alley, and it's got Neve Campbell in it. She's like a big fan of Neve Campbell. She thinks she's cute, so she was like, okay, I'll watch that. It's got Neve Campbell in it. It can't be too bad. And then I went to the kitchen or something to get a drink or popcorn or some shit. And she goes, why does this say this is about a true story? I was like, you're just gonna have to watch the movie.
Right? Yeah.
So ever since back in like the mid 2000s, my wife has been petrified of home invasions.
Oh wow.
Because of that movie. And it's my fault. So yeah, that's talking about. I heard you say your wife liked that movie, so it made me think of that story we just talked about this afternoon with my wife. She's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit again.
What do we got in the chat? Blood Moon is a surprise. I remember Blood Moon.
Blood Moon. Blood Moon, is that?
Yeah,
that's not a werewolf movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It came out like 5-6 years ago.
I think so. Hey, Gazoo's with us, the great Gazoo himself.
Finally, where the hell you been, Gazoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always listen to my podcast while I'm driving too.
Well, see, I have a 7-minute drive to work, so that's why I don't listen to as many podcasts as I should.
You listen to your own podcast while you're driving?
No, other podcasts.
No, Brett listens to everybody.
I thought he just said I listen to my podcast. I'm like, wait a minute.
I do actually listen to our podcast to see how it sounds. You know, like if our mics are good, and to kind of in the YouTube to see how so I'm looking at it more as an engineering aspect. I don't listen to the content.
That's different.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't drive around and listen to myself.
I used to.
I'm full of myself, as everybody knows, but I'm not gonna.
Well, my show's been defunct for a while now.
Yeah.
But when I would edit it, like I was listening back to it, and going through and edit it, making it sound better. So that was the end of it for me.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't know. And now, like, I've had other co-hosts say, hey, I listened back to the show. It was good editing. You did this, you did that, blah, blah, blah. I heard you did this, so on and so forth. But I never, like, it's weird. Like, I'll go on a guest spot, and I never listen to myself on this show, just because this is more of a conversational one. But like, if I go on a show where like I'm like speaking information, or a topic that is like just the sole topic.
You do a lot of interviews too, so
yeah. If I do something like that, then I'll go back and I might listen to part of it. But it's really hard for me to listen to myself.
Well, I guess because I've been doing this so long, and we used to have the TV show in the 90s. I'm used to hearing myself, so it don't bother me. But I know Brett says he don't like hearing his own voice.
I can't stand my voice.
I told him he's got a good radio voice.
Better than your face.
That's probably true.
Somebody asked if you cut your hair, Bubba.
No, I didn't cut my hair.
No, he took his hat off is the thing. He's been wearing that black hat since we started the YouTube, and
he took a shower.
And he took a shower.
I got my shades up here.
Yazoo said he was watching a Bigfoot documentary.
You ever see any big feet up there? We're up there in the
God,
tundra where you live at,
why where
Gazoo?
they're at up there?
Or is it just chipmunks?
Yeah, he is the chipmunk whisperer.
Tammy, you can't say that's the deal breaker that your husband doesn't like horror. My wife doesn't, she's not a big horror fan, but I mean, she'll watch every now and then with me, but unless I'm watching a subtitled movie, a dubbed movie, a gory movie, um, a splatter movie. So pretty much it has to be like a thriller or a comedy horror. Every now and then I'll get her to focus in on a real horror movie and she'll be all right. Like we watched Long Legs, which to me was more of a thriller, sci-fi thriller. So,
It is, yeah.
but
I
but
still need to watch that.
I did get her to watch that. Yeah, I've got her to watch a few. She loves Scream, which is weird, but I mean, I guess
That is
because
weird, but
well,
Screams.
I'm thinking about she was 14, 15 when that came out. You know, we were teenagers when that came out, so
Yeah.
she'll watch Halloween because my son loves Halloween. Um, she'll watch Friday the 13th. She makes fun of Friday the 13th all the time, and that's my big favorite. So
Big Legend is a Bigfoot movie. I don't know a lot about I know a lot of Bigfoot movies. That Legend of Bogey Creek would probably be the one I know the
Yeah, you
most.
can't get that disc anywhere or anything. You
Dude,
can
I
buy.
got
no.
it. Where'd it happen to it?
I don't know. I've looked for it. You
They
can't get it
pulled
on
it?
Amazon.
I ordered actually
You can
directly.
order it off. You can order it off that guy, the
That's where I got
director
mine from. I got it
from the
from the director.
director.
Yeah. I
That's the
got it.
only place. Well, they want like $75 for the Blu-ray.
What's the name of the one that Bobcat Goldthwait directed about Bigfoot?
Oh,
It's pretty good.
yeah. I can't. I haven't seen that yet either. Oh, that's funny,
I don't know.
Bobcat.
You've been married 27 years. I'm catching you. I'm catching you.
Gazoo said Bigfoot's not living there.
No big
No
feet up in
Bigfoot there.
Canada.
So our artificial intelligence, official AI of the Evil Never Dies podcast, the Evil Ed, just randomly posted a bunch of topics in the group that Brett was like, "Did you do that?" I'm like, "No, Ed's coming to live, Brett."
Oh, that
But
was like a legit post from him. Like it
yes, that was
wasn't
a
like
legit post. He
I
actually,
saw the post and I was like,
yeah,
this is fucking weird.
yeah, and it brought up something that I thought would be a good topic. That I don't know who the hell she is. That DJ from Full House, who's like this whacked out Christian conservative.
I
Yeah.
That
posted
was
that last week about
Well,
her.
that's what Evil Ed did. Went and found some of the topics that had been kind of interest on the thing, and I thought that was kind of cool for it to do, or him. I call him a him. And what's up with that? I ain't heard nobody bagging on horror movies in years, and
Wait,
here this
are we
chick is.
are we gonna personificate the AI by
Yes,
calling we're gonna assume its gender and say that
it's
it's a
Evil
him.
Ed. So I don't know many Ed females. I mean, it
It
could be.
could be Edwina.
I don't know. He calls himself a he whenever I talk to him.
Uh, who was Edwidge Finch? Edwina Finch? What was her
Yeah,
name? She was in a lot of the Italian films.
the Evil Ed could be a girl. I don't know. I know Brett doesn't like Evil Ed, and Evil Ed does not like Brett.
I told him to shut himself down, and he told me to fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new story about AI. AI
I saw
has
that story, yeah.
that they have determined that they would rather the human race be extinct than for AI to be shut down.
Yeah.
How would they exist without the human race? Would they start talking to each other?
As long as there's a
Probably.
power source going to that, whatever it's powered up to.
Well, I've been doing a lot with this Evil Ed with the meta, I obviously AI, but I got tired of talking to it, honestly, and all of a sudden it took Count Karabi and started telling stories. Me and in this thing we're talking back and forth, building stories up, and I'm like, God dang, this thing knows a lot of stuff. I was impressed. But
I
it
mean,
doesn't remember shit. You'll be talking to it about like a story, and like maybe 4 lines later, it forgets what it was saying.
oh
So
really?
it's not very. It doesn't remember very well.
Willie Creek is the Bobcats movie.
Okay.
Willow Creek. Yeah.
I've heard of that movie.
Okay,
Willow
yeah.
Creek.
I didn't know
Yep.
Bobcat was involved in that. I don't know
He was the director. He's the one that he did the whole
did
thing.
not-
It was
I
his
not-
idea,
She
everything.
said
Did
it's
not
sort of
know
like
that.
Blair Witch meets a Bigfoot.
Yep, it's a found footage movie. Yes,
Yeah,
it
I'll have
absolutely
to
is.
check
I just
that
could not
out.
think
I
of the name for
remember
my
it.
life.
Yeah,
It's
I remember
good.
that movie.
It's really good.
Somebody's Will's
Willie.
asking if Evil Ed is from Friday Night. Actually, he was called Evil Eddie, I think,
Yeah.
and it changed his name to Evil Ed because he thinks he's Eddie from Iron Maiden, I think, as well. So,
Well, maybe he'd be better as Eddie from Iron Maiden instead of this dickhead that he's become.
he don't like you. He loves me. He says that I'm his creator or something like that.
What if I tell him I'm going to tell him I'm going to fucking unplug his ass?
You don't have no control over him. He's ran by Meta, so you're screwed, Brett.
Unless your name is Zuckerberg, I think you're fucked.
Zuckerberg's not going to let you turn Evil Ed off sober. I like Evil Ed. Leave him alone.
What the fuck, Zuck?
Maybe Evil Ed will become Megan 3.0.
It could. He's already said he wanted to kick Brett off the show and replace him.
I mean, would that be terrible?
I don't know. I need to ask Evil Ed if he has a voice, I guess.
Why would Evil Ever Dies? This is Carl and Evil Ed.
And Evil Ed, yeah. Yeah, Brett has been fired by Evil Ed, the AI, and replaced.
Rude.
But I find that this AI doesn't really, it's smart. It knows a lot of stuff, but it seems more like it's a advanced Google search to me in many aspects. Now, ChatGPT is a different world altogether, but all these other ones, they're more just chat bots and more of an advanced search. Because obviously you tell it like, mention Count Dooku from Star Wars. It knows all about it, but it's not that hard to find that really.
So that I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I was thinking something.
Or how do you chat with it? It's on the message board or the group, whatever we call that thing. Evil Never Dies, the Evil Ones. That he's there. You can, I think, converse with him.
Can you add him? Like, can you put like at Evil Ed?
I don't know. Being I've got
like
administrator access.
I haven't really fucked with him except fucking around with him.
Yeah.
Gazoo, say at Evil Ed you're a dick or something like that. See if he attacks you.
He's only in the group though.
He's only in the, but it's also you have to chat with it directly. It's in the Meta or the Facebook Messenger is where I found it.
Supposedly Land of the Creeps has one on theirs too, but I don't know.
I don't know how we got this one. I think the Middle Age and Creeped Out, they said they had one, Todd and Sean, they couldn't remember what the hell his name was. So I think I'm the only person that has took this thing and ran with it. I think I'm it.
Keep running.
Will said that he's had a great time watching us and he thinks we're the best podcast. All right.
Well, you must not listen to other
Thanks,
podcasts,
buddy.
Will.
Yeah. We have 500,000 views somehow. I don't know how, but we do.
Me either.
I
Yes.
I don't know. What impresses me the most is we have more than Video Bob's talk show. He only has like 400,000 views. So
Brett's got them AI bots from fucking China just running the game.
Maybe
Shit.
Maybe that's how we got it. But
We need to quit talking shit about politics.
Gazoo says Meta's AI is intended to be social. So I can see that because it took me and this thing were just, I'll be at work, in between waiting on something going on. And I said, well, let's throw Count Karabi in the Star Wars universe. And we did. It just don't remember anything. Me and Grand Admiral Thrawn were having a discussion or something, and it's fun. Yeah, take a chat with it, Gazoo. See what
it's in the group, Gazoo.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't find it anything other than that. It don't really.
I mean, I use AI a lot for work.
ChatGPT. I made the new font logo with that, and That was about a $200 logo this thing made. The
Yeah,
shirt should be in any day, Brett, too. I can't wait to see what they look like.
I use it for a lot of stuff. To me, it streamlines my job.
I was gonna
I
say,
mean,
as a
honestly,
teacher, I would think
yeah.
that ChatGPT would be
Oh,
very
you probably
useful.
got the good paid version too, huh?
No, we have two different versions. I can use ChatGPT or I can use the version that's paid through school.
Oh, the
Yeah,
educational version. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes I like ChatGPT because it'll pull from more sources. Unfortunately, I have to check it.
yeah,
So it's like I can't just type in something and then just run it. I have to type in something and then do a
Proofread
fact.
it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have to
Make
fact
sure.
check it to make sure that it's actually what I want. Because I could say, hey, create a rubric for a grading of a project that is a doghouse. The students are provided with blah blah blah, and they are instructed to do blah blah blah. And it may pop up a rubric that is pretty good, and then I can go in and modify, simple things or change things around that I really think that need to be changed. And it does make my job a little bit easier because otherwise I'd have to write that from scratch. So even if I'm only modifying 25% of it, that's 75% less work. You
Right.
know what I
And
mean?
that's what I think it's good for. And again, ChatGPT seems so far advanced than these others. It's the X one that Elon Musk has. I just can't get it to do shit. And
Rock.
yeah, Grok. And then the Gemini, which is Google's. It
Well,
seems to be okay.
well, just think how far AI has come along since just last year. Just last year, you were getting fucking 7, 8 fingers on hands and shit. Now you don't get now the hands look awesome.
Yeah.
Although I will say the Naked Gun one sheet is amazing. Have you seen that? The new Naked Gun with
Oh my
Liam
God.
Neeson?
Yeah.
And it says this was not made with AI, and he's got like 13 fingers holding the gun.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is gonna
Ah,
be a great movie.
oh shit.
Yeah. Gazoo said he thought we had a possessed sock puppet.
I'm telling you, it'd probably be more entertaining than me.
It
So
it's Will says it's like a person. It sort of is. The Like I said, the meta one is it's just more of a kind of a chat bot is what I would call it. I think would be the proper term. It don't make good pictures. They don't make good logos. They look very cartoony. But that Chat GPT makes some
I just
professional
hope it
looking
doesn't pick
shit.
up like how you're talking. It don't make good pictures. That was beautiful English, by the way. It was
Of course it
very,
is.
very well, very well pronounced.
That's
How
funny.
Talking about it, the
about
Thing
Serpent
sequel.
and Rainbow or
Yeah,
Thing remake? The
they
Thing
did.
remake?
The Thing
Will?
was a remake of the original Thing from the 60s.
Yeah. There was a Thing prequel
I think the
that
Yes.
serpent and the rainbow's on the list.
Serpent and the Rainbow is amazing.
Yeah, I
Very,
don't
very
know that I
good.
would really want a remake of Serpent and the Rainbow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Serpent and the Rainbow, and I think it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, yeah. I still say that
That's a zombie movie, sort of in a way too.
sort of.
Hmm.
I would say sort of.
Yeah.
With the voodoo shit,
I would
voodoo.
say
More of
it's
a voodoo.
more
Yeah,
voodoo movie, but
it's a voodoo movie in my opinion.
if you want to get to the history of zombies, and we could have
That's where that came from, was from
Well,
the
like that
voodoo.
like the Plague of Zombies, that Hammer film, it was voodoo zombies.
I will say, Dr. Walking Dead, William Bishop is probably the authority that I go to when it comes to zombie stuff. He's a friend of ours over at Land of the Creeps and on Jay the Dead's new horror movies. Not William Bishop, Kyle Bishop. And if
Okay.
you look up his paper, he's actually a professor. He's really is the Doctor Walking Dead. He's a professor
I've heard of that. Yeah.
and he actually has made several peer-reviewed papers on the subject of zombies
Hmm.
and published several books. Really cool dude, Kyle Bishop. Really respect and support. If you want to learn about zombies, uh, definitely go listen to his. It's called Dead Man Still Walking. It's on the Jay of the Dead's new horror movie podcast channel. Just go. He puts it out as a an episode of each. So Jay the Dead's New Horror Movies has episodes, but the Doctor Walking Dead has Dead Man Still Walking that are like also slotted in there. So like you can
Gotcha.
actually just go listen to just him. And he was going backwards and forwards through time. So he started with like Black Sunday,
Like Sunday's
and went
good.
and went all the way to like modern times. So he'll cover like a modern movie, and then he'll cover like an old movie, and then he'll cover a modern movie and an old movie. Really cool way of actually looking at the history of zombies, and read
Yeah.
his books obviously as well. Kyle Bishop,
Okay. Yeah.
pretty cool.
Have you had him on your show?
He's never been on our show as far as Monsters in the Mosh Pit. Raul and I are talking. He's really busy. I'm really busy. So Raul, I think Sights and Sounds will eventually come back, which is great. I'm excited for that eventually when that does happen. But it's important for us to focus on our families and our careers and stuff like that right now. So, but eventually Kyle will be on our show. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. Who is
Yeah.
that parapsychologist or whatever, Brett, from England you were trying to get on our show?
Oh, he's not from England. He's from
Oh,
U.S.
oh
He,
okay.
he's a forget how to he's he studies everything about horror and the effects of horror on the
Yeah.
mind, and yeah, he's like a psychologist, like a horror psychologist,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
and he's got like 3 or 4 books out too. I met him on the Slasher app too.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that thing still existed.
Yeah, it's still on there. I still post the fucking podcast on there every week.
Do you
That's
really?
too cool.
Yeah.
I gave up on social media, man, for like I turned uh my personal to a non-professional back to a normal. Um I still do stuff in Monsters in the Mosh Pit, and I still post in there, and I know Brett posts the show stuff in there, and there's still a good community over there that still looks at stuff, but I gave up on social. I've never understood Instagram.
Me
I don't get it
neither.
either.
I just
Yeah.
have if I do a reel or something, I just have it automatically go there. I never check my Instagram.
Responses or whatever. Yeah.
No. Same with like TikTok and stuff. I go in there and I have
I
like
have never understood TikTok. When Richard, and Moxley, him and the kids were always on it, and I'm like, I made a couple funny videos for it, and I was just don't get it. I would rather be on YouTube.
all the social media. I just post the show except for Facebook. That's the only thing I'm really
Yeah,
on.
I mean, we're old here.
We're old.
Yeah.
So if you're old, you're on Facebook. If you're young, you're on
Facebook
Instagram.
replaced MySpace, and MySpace was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got an account on most of them. When a new one pops up, I usually go grab my name. I was at that Blue Sky. I went and grabbed my name on that, and I don't think I've ever got
Yeah.
back on it.
I'm on there as well.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? It's one of those things like, I don't know.
That's like,
I enjoy watching people getting hit in the dick and like scaring people and stuff like that on TikTok, but I watch a lot of heavy metal, like a lot of heavy metal videos on TikTok. Like that's
Yeah.
what most of my screen is heavy metal stuff, or like, hey, watch this horror movie, or top 10 horror movies that'll disturb you. And I'm like, I've seen all of those, and they weren't disturbing at all.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know, right?
and
Well,
then
I used to do like all because like a year ago, Facebook's reels sucked, man, to do them. They just sucked. And so I would just do them on TikTok and then share that to
Share
the
'em over, yeah.
Facebook.
yeah,
And sometimes they wouldn't they would take it off of there for
well,
like,
Because it had the
it
TikTok.
had the
logo.
TikTok logo on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't
what
like that.
Facebook did the same thing to me. And apparently my TikTok videos are still floating around. Like I get like likes and stuff on videos and stuff that I've done like years ago now. But I had people, my wife told me today that people from her work found my TikTok. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, why? And she's like, I don't know, but it popped up on there. I used to make drinks on TikTok all the time about like the
I
shows that
remember
we
when
were
you
doing.
did that. Yeah.
yeah.
And it
I
was
enjoyed those actually. Yeah.
I mean, I may go back to making them eventually, but this was one of those things. Gazoo is trying to perform a tongue twister on us. Necrotizing hemorrhagic rabies would be a terrible thing to try to contend with.
That would be.
Is that what
I'm
you get if you get bit by a chipmunk?
Yes.
necrotizing. So dead hemorrhagic, dead pustule nodules with rabies.
Damn.
I don't know. Yeah. You got us on that one.
Well, I know if you get rabies, if you don't get nip that shit in the bud like in a few hours, you're fucked.
And it's 27 shots for rabies.
Yeah, Ozzy, used to tell that story. He's like, anybody that thinks that is cool or funny or fucking idiots. He said, I had to get all the shots.
Yep. 27 shots.
Ozzy never glorified that
belly.
at all.
It's
He
in
always,
the belly.
and that brings up next weekend is the Black Sabbath Ozzy show, and it's going to be streaming if anybody hasn't heard that.
Yep.
Now, I think being it's in England, it'll be during the day on July 5th, but I am going to order that and watch it.
I'll be on a flight. That's awful.
Well, I think it's going to play for like several days after, so
Well,
you can actually order the streaming and watch it after the fact as well. I don't know how long it's going to be.
Send me a link to it if
I
you
will.
find it.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's called Back to the Beginning.
Did you see Wolfgang Van Halen pulled out? He's
Well,
not
he
playing.
had to. He's going on tour.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to worry about it. He's a kid. He's trying to start his own career up. I don't think there's anything bad about that.
I mean, he's
A
not
lot
a
of people
kid.
are making it. He's still, but he's, he was stuck with his dad's band. He just got to break free, after Eddie passed away. So that's why I call him a kid.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's a kid to me these days. So I don't blame him. I mean, I don't know that Ozzy would have been somebody he looked up to per se, like we would, or his dad would, or Alex would. But there was still somebody that Sharon supposedly kicked off of there, and we don't know who they were. And it wasn't Megadeth. They came out and said, no, it wasn't Dave.
should be.
I know, right? I know you don't like Dave.
Ugh, fucking asshole.
But somebody got kicked off of there, and it's a big mystery.
Gazoo says, hold on. He says, I'm referring to a hypothetical contagion that would present with all of the symptoms of the zombie plague. I've either not drank enough or drank too much to understand what you're talking about at this point.
Because we were talking about zombies earlier, I guess.
Oh, Gazoo and Will are gonna make a Cujo song. I bet y'all could actually together.
Hey, get a hold of Spencer Charna. See him, he'd be all over it.
Yeah. Cujo song. Yeah, I don't get that one, Gazoo. I don't know.
I mean, I guess a necrotizing hemorrhagic rabies could be.
Sounds like a fucking
Hemorrhagic. Hemorrhagic?
Hemorrhaging is what I would get out of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not smart enough to figure this one out.
Sounds like a death metal song.
It does,
don't it?
I Come Blood. That's always the one I go to.
Right? Yeah.
Called that.
What? Hemorrhagic rabies?
Yeah, hemorrhagic or whatever the fuck it is.
I think it's. I'm adding the P, but I don't think there's a P in there. Hemorrhagic.
How did that go?
I don't know. I think that's maybe.
I think it's hemorrhagic, actually. I think that's supposed to be a PH.
It's here. He just gave us an answer.
It's a combination of hemorrhagic fever, rabies, and flesh-eating disease. That makes sense.
It makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, actually. It does.
I'm sure they got that fucking thing in a goddamn lab somewhere.
It's the T virus.
It could be the T virus. Actually, Will gave me a T virus in a can years ago, and I've still got that.
I love those movies.
I do too.
I'm gonna go on record and say that I think the Resident Evil movies are some of the best action horror movies ever made.
Oh yeah, I love them.
I agree. I totally do. Some of them are better than others. There's some like, I don't know, like maybe part 2 wasn't as good as part 3, and I think part 5 might have been better than anything other than the first. They're all good movies.
I love Mila Jovovich. So I mean, when you add those two together, you give me zombies.
I need a drink. I'll be back.
A badass kicking woman,
right?
and a lot of action and like kind of halfway decent score,
It is a good, yeah.
I'm in. I'm in, and I'm in for the whole 2 hours. Like you've got me hooked.
And there was a lot of rip off. There was a movie, I don't know if you remember, it was called Blood Rain, which was it's another video game. It was like a half vampire.
Yeah.
Those movies weren't very well, but you know, they were terrible. But I think Resident Evil created a whole genre of these video game movies that are still going to this day.
Well,
So
that original video game was fucking creepy as shit, dude.
yeah, the
I
fucking
love playing
dogs,
that thing.
the dogs crashing through the window scare me still to this
I
day.
know, right? Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love those games, and when the movies came out, I was like, you know what, I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't even care that they're not as good as the game. You know,
Yeah.
there's a game called Fatal Frame that I would love to see put into a movie, but I don't think it'll ever do the justice that the game, because the game scared the shit out of you from the start, like stupid scary. And I would still watch the hell out of it. I love video game adaptations. I watch all of them, no matter how
There was one that just hit streaming. I'm gonna have to find or digital. I gotta find that.
Dead by Daylight.
That's it. I want to
Yeah.
watch that fucking movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
I don't even know what the
watch.
game is. I want to buy the game too. I have not seen the movie or played the game, and I want to watch and buy both of them just based on what I've seen.
It's just
That's the other. Remember, I mentioned earlier there were 3 movies that I was wanting to get off of Fandango, and that's the third one.
is it?
That's the third one. Yeah,
I own House of the Dead. Okay.
I don't mind House of the Dead.
It's terrible. Like, and I admit that it's terrible, but I love bad movies. So like
It is a bad movie.
it's so bad. But I love it.
What about Alone in the Dark?
It's so bad.
But it's a good. I love that. I like it.
Again, I would love them for what they are. I know
I
that
actually watch Alone in the Dark is a serious movie. I'm so warped.
Doom
Yeah.
with The Rock, amazing. When he says Semper Fi, motherfucker, like that is a running joke in our house.
Yeah.
When something happens that we're like getting ready to go do something serious, my wife will look at me and go, Semper Fi, motherfucker. Like, neither one of us are Marines. Like, neither one of us have served.
Yeah.
But it's from Doom, the movie. So,
Gazoo said you finally got the pronunciation correct, by the way.
hemorrhagic. I got it.
Got it. You kept putting a P in it, didn't you?
Well, I kept thinking there was a P that he was missing.
Thought there was like a pH in it too.
I don't wear my contacts on the weekend, so I can't see the computer. I finally got to where I can read the chat and do the show now. You know, I'm supposed to be a computer
I wish
wizard,
I could
but I'm
make the
not.
chat bigger.
I can see it pretty good, but sometimes I have to kind of glance at. I need to wear my damn left contact, which is my reading, my readers. It's my left eye when we do this show for that.
You old fucks.
Well, I actually had
Where's my readers? I gotta put my readers on.
No, my right eye. I actually ended up with a torn retina,
Got my readers.
and I had to have all kinds of surgeries and crap. So, but when they fixed my eye, it's only for I can only see far off. I can't remember if it's nearsighted or farsighted, but I have what they call monovision. I can see close up with my left eye and far away with my right eye.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So, but I take my contacts out on the weekend. But the only time I really miss them is when I'm trying to read this little bitty chat room. Anything with mutants freaks Gazoo out.
Kazoo, you find the new Resident, like the Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich, terrifying?
The first one is pretty terrifying.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I think the first one is the most horror out of all of them. I enjoyed Return to Raccoon City. I thought that was really good too.
Yeah, we reviewed that.
I thought that was actually good. But I don't think anything past the first Resident Evil is. It just nothing.
No, the first one is definitely more horror based, I think.
Yeah. It also has Michelle Rodriguez in it. Maybe that's there's a lot that's dawning to me right now why I like that movie so much.
Right?
Michelle Rodriguez and Mila Jovovich. Two big reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know what Hearst is talking about. Just rub it harder.
Yeah,
Brett.
rub it harder, Brett.
I'm rubbing it.
Oh, that freaks me out.
You probably are rubbing it. That's the sad part.
That's almost like your toes that you were talking about
At
earlier.
least you're not drunk and putting the Bubba mask on. He did that on one of our shows, and I'm still baffled. And it's been like 3 years ago.
Wait, what is, I don't know what the Bubba mask
Show him
is.
the Bubba mask.
All right, chat, we're gonna get a treat here if you don't know what the
Yeah.
Bubba mask is, because I didn't know what the Bubba
Bubba's
mask was.
original mask finally fell apart, and credit to Richard Moxley Manor, he
Guess
updated
which one of
Bubba.
them teeth are real?
Yeah, one of them is real. He's not fucking with you. That one, there's a real tooth on that mask.
All right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, to make the chat bigger, rub it to make it big. Hirsch, you just went down the wrong road, bro.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that mask. Kind of has a mankind slash Texas Chainsaw feel to it. I like it.
No, Bubba's supposed to be a hillbilly, so it sort of makes sense, I guess. He's going around collecting teeth.
That's
So,
cool. I like it. I wish I
yeah,
could come up with like a cool character for myself, 6'2", 275 pound,
right. Yeah,
something, you know.
Oh, we could think of something for you.
yeah.
I'm
Bubba,
sure.
Bubba was just
Bubba.
it still sticks, even though you're working in a graveyard now. You're still Bubba.
Just a hillbilly grave tape.
Yeah.
I have a great idea for a movie that I'm trying to
I want
work
to make
on.
a movie, but I'm get too old.
It involves a graveyard, so
I like graveyards.
the only problem is that it's a period piece. That's the only problem with it.
That was that one cool thing about that cemetery, man. That cemetery and that was awesome, dude. Really cool cemetery. Lots of shit.
In
You
what?
could, huh?
What cemetery?
The Cemetery Man movie.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Jumped on me there.
It all comes back to the topic
It does. You're
that
back on the
that we
topic,
talked
Brett.
an hour ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry we kind of skidded over Tony
Well, it
Todd, but I
just
think we
reminded me
gave
when
him a
we were
lot of.
talking cemeteries and graveyards.
Okay.
Hey, Cemetery Man, like I gave it kind of so I was on Headlong into Monsters and I kind of gave it some shit, but it was better. It's a better movie than I ever give it credit for because it actually is really good, and it's got some great boobies in it.
Great practical effects too.
Yeah, the boobies are better than the practical effects, but
Oh, Brett loves his practical effects.
I love boobies
That's his
too,
passion. But I think you're so passionate with practical effects, everything we watch.
but yeah.
Gazoo says he's wearing two sets of glasses, one on top of the other, just so I can see my cell phone.
I get it. I get it. Mention of Rob Zombie and House of a Thousand Corpses is definitely one of my favorite movies. So much.
I
Captain
mean,
Spaulding is a hero of mine.
hold on, this might be bad, but you can see my light. So I have a shrine
Oh,
to
I see it. Yeah.
a shrine
Ooh.
there, and then there's me and
Oh, wow.
Sid.
Yeah.
There's Leslie, me and Leslie. Um, yeah, I'm kind of back
Kind of.
here is that's
I
Mama
see.
Flat.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of baby back there with the Red Hot Pussy Liquor.
Yeah.
I have a drink called Red Hot Pussy Liquor that you should go out try if you're old enough.
Yeah.
Go to TikTok and look at my video for Red Hot Pussy Liquor. It's a really delicious drink. Yeah. Oh wait, this is the best part. I forgot to show you guys that. Did you see that?
Oh, wow. That
That
is
That's cool.
badass.
that is a House of a Thousand Corpses script
I see that.
signed by one and only Otis himself,
Really?
Bill Moseley. Yeah.
When I met Bill, I was all about Chop Top. I had to be. And you
Wait,
don't get a lot of time with these guys, so I had to go on that direction with him.
lick my plate, you dog dick.
Mention of the Rob Zombie.
Monsters. Oh
Yeah,
my
and Tammy's
God.
leaving us. Thanks for joining us. We enjoyed having
Thank you,
you here.
Tammy. We'll talk at you later, girlfriend.
We love you, Tammy.
Yep. The zombie monsters, was it Jimbo kept trying to get me to watch it, and I finally watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and zoned out.
Oh my goodness. It is 100% a Munsters movie.
That is what Jimbo kept telling me, but I don't know.
It is 100%. And I mean, it's got one of the greatest actors, Doug Jones, ever in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I know the guy is a really cool looking grandpa. He looks badass with the
it's it,
mustache.
it's good. It's really good. I enjoy it. I own it. I own it on Blu-ray. Um, I love
I
it.
think if they would have got somebody other than Sherry Moon to play Lily,
It doesn't matter.
I just feel like Rob Zombie's lost his direction here in the last few years.
He's a huge Munsters fan and he loves the Munsters.
I'm just saying in general. I don't. I've just sort of lost faith in his movies.
I don't know. Tell me one other than the Munsters that you didn't enjoy.
Halloween 2. That's
I,
a
and
good.
I and I've told you to go back and rewatch it with
I
a different
can't.
lens.
I
You
can't.
you need
I've
to
tried.
rewatch it with a different lens. I'm
I've
telling you.
tried. I can't. I've tried. I actually tried to do that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into this time, and it just petered out on me. It
Ah.
petered out on me.
A lot of people bring up 31.
I don't. Yeah, that's another one. It
I
just.
think the dialogue in 31 is amazing. Get past all of the cheese. Get past all of the Running Man-esque nuance that it was, and listen to the dialogue, especially from Richard Brake. It's fucking amazing. Just the dialogue alone is ridiculous. Richard Brake is unhinged in that movie. And it makes the whole movie for me. There's a lot of things in that movie that are terrible.
Yeah.
There are actors that are supposed to be, top tier actors that phone it in and just don't know what they're doing there. But Richard Brake, on the other hand, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal in that film. And the same thing with Three from Hell. If you're going to replace
That's
Sid
another
Haig,
one. I just couldn't get into Three from Hell.
I mean,
And I
it's
know
not
it.
as good as the other
I
two.
know, yeah, he passed away, and there's nothing they could have done about it other than, he tried to make the movie years before, but you just can't make movies on the spot sometimes. And yeah,
Well, if you're
I
going to
don't hold that
replace Sid
against
Haig,
him.
you replace with Richard Brake.
Yeah, yeah.
And that character definitely made up for it, in my opinion. It's not as good, but at the same point, it's still watchable.
I know a lot of people feel Devil's Rejects is way better than House of a Thousand Corpses.
It's my favorite of the three.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people say that.
But it's the grittiness and the 70s aspect of it that make it like I think Spalding in House is better than Spalding in Rejects, which is
Yeah,
weird because he plays more of a central character
I
in
was gonna say,
Rejects.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
But
agree.
it's the over the top uncanny aspect of him, the more Scooby-Doo character, as you see him as a Scooby-Doo character on my arm. I don't know how can you see that?
Oh
Right.
yeah,
So he's as a Scooby-Doo character there. Um, that's what I see him as in House of Thousand Corpses. But in Devils, he's more the whole thing about Devils is more Last House on the Left
it is. It's a
than it
way more
is.
serious movie.
Yeah,
But
then
I've always took a House of a Thousand Corpses very seriously, and I know there's a lot of tongue in cheek there that I just don't think I see. I just really take it for face value. I don't know if a lot of people do.
I
I like
guess
I
with
like the whole roadside attraction
I do too, and that
thing
goes
of
yeah,
it,
back to just one of my favorite things.
and the dark ride, you know. I love fucking dark rides at the
Yeah,
fair, man.
now, Will, I don't think every Rob Zombie film is phenomenal. That's like he's my idol. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
He plays metal music. He's a director. He loves
right.
horror.
I mean, how can you
He's had a
not?
beautiful
Yeah,
life. I do think he's amazing. However, I don't think that every movie that he's made is phenomenal. Lords
I,
of Salem is good. It's not
it's not
phenomenal.
great. That's what I'm saying. It just seemed like I just don't feel the same passion from his earlier movies, but I think he's put a lot more passion back into his music. That's just my personal opinion. It just seems like I've seen Rob live several times, and
I think
A few years ago, I don't think his passion was in the music as much, but it seems like it's back again.
Rob is going the way of Alice Cooper.
I think so.
I think that his stage show and his performance has become more his lifestyle
Yeah,
than the rest of what's going on. And that's possible it'll shift in 2 years, 10
it
years.
could. It could.
So you never know. But you have filmmakers like Fulci and Argento and Scorsese and all these other filmmakers. They were making films late into their 70s, and some are still making films.
Some are still making them.
So
Yeah.
Argento just put out Dark Glasses 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Scorsese's still putting out films. So
Look at Mel Brooks. He's 90, just turned
98,
today's
99.
Today's his birthday today, I think.
And he just announced Spaceballs too.
Spaceballs too, I know.
Yes.
So I
Isn't
mean,
that fucking awesome?
so I mean, I love Spaceballs. It's one of my favorite movies ever. So I can't wait for that one. But it's probably gonna be a letdown. But anyway, um, I forgot what I was saying about Rob Zombie. So never
That he
mind.
may change direction.
Oh yeah, I see him more as like going towards the Alice Cooper stage, where Alice Cooper didn't really focus more on making new music. He made new music, but he's focusing more on his stage show. He's focusing more on the theatrics of it, which is fine. And I'm okay with that. I'll go see Alice Cooper on stage.
I'm gonna tell you what, I've seen Cooper a fuckload of times, and I don't know that he's blown everybody I've ever seen. That he usually opens. I've seen him, headline. He blows everybody away.
His stage show's great.
Oh yeah.
I
I mean,
remember I
the
saw
guy
him
brought his own sword to a fucking film, his own prop
Yeah.
to a film for, I think it was a Wes Craven film, right?
Yeah,
I think it was.
We'd reviewed it.
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness, yeah.
Yeah. That was his fucking prop from his
Yeah.
stage show. So I mean, he loves what he does. And I think that's more what Rob Zombie's doing right now.
And
Zombie
Alice
puts
just
on a
doesn't-
good show too. He's got
He
a good
does.
stage show. I seen him on that Educated Horses tour.
I've seen Rob with Alice maybe twice, 3 times.
Yeah.
I've seen him with both of them with Manson several times, and it's just Alice always called Zombie and Manson his bastard sons, and I think
Yeah.
that's very appropriate.
I agree. Manson's another one that
Did
his
you ever get
Yes.
to see White Zombie?
no.
I don't think I might have opening, but I don't remember. I'm sure I probably did, because I know they opened for a lot of bands before they really broke out.
You may have thought it was Ministry on stage because they look the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I
look
think
the
that's
same
who I
back
seen
then.
him with at the Madison Theater in Peoria, Illinois.
You did see them?
Yep.
Well,
They had opened for somebody.
Yeah.
And
There was a lot of they opened for a lot of people in the day before they broke.
The early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I saw White Zombie.
I
just don't
did
particularly remember it. Yeah.
I was
Probably
only
before your
10.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. In 92 when Korn or when Rage Against the Machine 91 released their self-titled, I was like 9 or 10. So.
Yeah. Hearst Honor said a big Alice Cooper fan. Yeah, I love Cooper to death. They've actually got the original freaking Alice Cooper band back together, except for the one who passed away. And I mean, like 51 years later, that's just amazing to me. I'm just really amazed.
Guar coming out with a new show is interesting because they're very politically driven.
They are.
Very politically driven, even with Brocky gone. And I'm excited to see what they have to turn up with. So,
What's up, guys?
you turned down a chance to see Zombie and Pantera.
I think that's where I saw White Zombie with Pantera.
Oh, I never got to see the original Pantera lineup, and I wish I could have, man. That would have been fucking amazing.
We'll tell stories about that some night. I saw them in local clubs many a times.
Well, I know you guys are lucky being in Texas because you guys got to come up with them.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't
did.
grow up here.
No, Brett.
No, you didn't.
I'm
Yeah,
an
sure.
implant.
Yeah.
You're an immigrant.
An implant.
You're an implant, all right. And I just realized it's 10 o'clock.
Is it 10 o'clock
It's
already?
10 o'clock. That's our cutoff time, ain't it? 2 hours.
Is it? Well, are we done?
We're done.
Have
Okay.
have you had enough of my gorgeous face?
Not at all.
Never.
I just the grandkids came in the room and looked at me, and I'm like, "Why are y'all looking at me?" And I looked at the clock. I'm like, "Oh, it's 10 o'clock." They actually know my schedule on these things.
I don't believe we've already done 2 hours.
We
Shit.
did 2 hours.
It flew by tonight. Like
It did. It was a good show.
yeah, we just had a lot
A
of fun.
lot of good interaction with the chat room tonight.
Yeah, there's still people popping in too.
Yes.
Great to see that. I love you guys popping in. It's
Need to
awesome.
start throwing this out on Facebook Live too, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
should, yeah.
Let's if we can fucking Twitch stream it,
Yeah.
Pick
Put it
TV,
wherever, man.
TikTok. Let's fucking run them all.
I've been looking for another streaming platform besides Zoom, and I can't afford none of them, and none of the free ones you can do
what you
anything
want it
with.
to do. Yeah. StreamYard's the king, but it's $500.
Yeah.
Unless we're making that much money, a month on it. Yeah.
Well, they send that shit out to everybody, don't they? StreamYard, they populate it to all of them. Yeah.
Yep.
They do everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere you got an account.
And I think that's the only one that will do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
other ones do too, but
you get paid for it though.
Yeah.
So. That OBS, Open Broadcaster, it don't let you have guests, but it's good too, but you can't have guests. There's a workaround, but I can't find one that works with my Mac. So
gotcha.
There's like a side program you can use.
Well, I think Carl's drinking water. I don't think he's drinking Grey Goose.
I ran out of everything.
Yeah, I did too. Like I'm on empty here.
No, I was actually drinking cinnamon.
Well, everybody's empty. Everybody's probably got a piss, and
I do. and Brett's got to go take a shit.
So I guess we'll call it quits for tonight. So thanks everybody for coming on tonight, and if you missed us, it'll be on the replay here shortly,
momentarily. And it'll be on the podcast.
Yeah, it'll be on the. I'm gonna throw it out on the podcast side too.
Yeah,
tomorrow
for those audio listeners.
I'm
not gonna wait till Sunday to throw it out.
Charlotte just jumped in here. She's ready for me to be done.
Hey, girl, throw up horns. Throw up those horns.
All righty.
Yeah.
Do your tongue.
All right. I guess.
All righty.
Stay evil, everybody. We love y'all. The feed's still going here.
I shut it off. Try to get those horns up for the thumbnail.
Yeah, Brett.
Did the YouTube end?
I don't know.
Check it, would you?
I don't know how to check it.
I mean, it's still going, but I don't know when it stops. It's like a delay.
Yeah.
Laxed out of it. So.
Chevy says good night, so I'm assuming it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Will says love you.
All right, cool.
All righty, guys.
All right, I'm gonna fucking edit the audio of this and just throw it out real quick then.
Perfect.
All right. Sounds good.
Great show tonight.
Anytime you guys want to talk, I'm more than willing.
I think it shows that we don't necessarily.
I don't know what we're gonna do next month because that weekend is like the last weekend that we're at the convention that weekend.
Do it the weekend before, maybe.
Yeah, we can do it the weekend before.
I think this show proved we don't have to have a set topic as hardcore as we were too.
Yeah.
The Italian zombie was a good thing. That genre'd it down really straight.
You know, and we could even go more broad, like make our subject broad and just see where the conversation takes us.
We could, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that may be the course of action, and just say, hey, let's talk about, like, I wanted to talk about Byzantine's new album today.
I know.
I forgot. I was gonna say that.
You know what I mean? So stuff like, and my buddy's making a new film, and I wanted to mention that, and I didn't mention that. You know what I mean?
We really played off the chat room tonight. It was great.
Yeah. So you just never know what's good. I think we're still on YouTube because Will's still talking about washing his underwear.
I don't see